So good afternoon and welcome to our esteemed judges, presenters, and attendees. It is our pleasure to welcome you to the 11th Annual Friends of Africa Economic Summit. This is the first time this annual conference is being hosted in a hybrid format, so in person and virtually. So today's event is purely virtual, but day two with a host of different panels will be hosted both virtually and in person at the Delta Marriott Hotel in Toronto. We're very happy to have you all here today. So my name is Dinisu Onyenokwe. Everybody calls me Dino, so don't be shocked if you hear someone calling me that. And it's an honor and privilege to be your host for today's pitch competition. So again, today is day one of a two-day Friends of Africa Economic Summit. And tomorrow we continue with a very engaging and insightful in-person virtual conference scheduled. There will be roundtable panel discussions, keynote presentations, business showcases at our annual virtual marketplace, and opportunities to network as well. To help us open up and begin our proceedings for today, I would like to introduce Dr. Olutoyin Oyelade. Doctor, you can.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dino, for your very warm welcome. And thank you again to everyone for joining us this afternoon. It's such an honor, it's such a privilege, and we're so excited to see all of you today. We do hope that the first part of today's event went very well. We hope you enjoyed the networking on all the links that have been created on LinkedIn and YouTube and all the people watching on there. We just thought it would be a good opportunity for us to network, get to meet with you, and for you also to get to meet with our presenters today. And so I believe you had an exciting time. We did, and we're hoping to receive your feedback in that regard. Again, let me welcome everyone to Friends of Africa Economic Summit 2021. We will be having various parts at today's event. The first part will focus largely on the presenters at the pitch. And we will also have a fireside session. I'm sure we know that we do have a lot of young leaders, young entrepreneurs doing new things and focusing on the private sector and of course on the public sector. And so we've been able to bring some of them into the room with us today at this fireside session, and they'll be sharing thoughts and insights on their journey, how far they have come, where they started from, some of the challenges will be shared, and then of course how they have advanced, both at the workplace and in business. And so we plan to have that today also. And so stay tuned because we know that they have a lot of great insights to share, and we believe we'll all be enlightened. Today, my simple task is just to welcome you all and to share just a few thoughts from Casa Foundation. What is Pitch Masters? In 2015, Casa Foundation started its Pitch Masters program. And the goal of the Pitch Masters program is actually to bring together groups of startups, young entrepreneurs, startup groups, and aspiring entrepreneurs into the room to meet with like-minded individuals and groups that will be looking to provide capital to them for their own business ventures. Since 2015, when Casa Foundation started its Pitch Masters program, we have presented over 165 pitch candidates to various judges, to various investors, banks, and other equity capital providers. From our Pitch Masters program, we have awarded to various groups, startup groups, aspiring entrepreneurs. We have awarded to them over $100,000 in pitch grant awards. So far, what we have done as Casa Foundation has attracted a lot of support from various groups. We believe at Casa Foundation that when we rally together as partners and collaborators in our sector and in the markets, our communities, and as organizations to support young entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, we believe that we fast track the process of creating new ventures, of building and scaling established ventures, and of course, setting up partnerships that enhance and improve the way we do business, not only in the community, but in the general entrepreneurship space. And so that's why, again, today, we're excited and we're glad that you're here with us at the Pitch Masters program to witness again the birth of not only new businesses, emerging entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs that are looking to start their ventures, but they are looking for funding and capital for people like you and I in the markets. We're presenting about 10 contestants today, and we believe that you will be interested in their presentations, not only because of the sectors that are represented in the room today, but because of the value that they are looking to bring into their various communities, the solutions that they're looking to bring into their communities by starting their businesses. And so today, it is my honor and it is my privilege to welcome all our entrepreneurs that will be presenting at this Pitch Masters event today to kickstart the entire Friends of Africa Economic Summit program. Today, I will also be introducing some of our judges, the judges that are in the room with us, some of our partners today. Some of our partners come from various sectors of the community. And it's been heartwarming to see the journey so far, to see how they have taken an interest in Casa Foundation and the various our constituents and members of our incubators that are being presented today. I'll start with the sponsors. First on our sponsorship list today is the Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub at the Diversity Institute of the Ryerson University. The Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub has done a lot of work in the community in advancing and promoting women entrepreneurship. And so we are not only excited to have Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub supporting Casa Foundation and its pitch contestants. We're also glad and privileged to be part of the community members and the hubs and the ecosystems that Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub consults with just to bring about some of its solutions into the women entrepreneurship space in the community. Today it gives me great honor and pleasure to introduce also to us Professor Wendy Sukia, who is the founder of Diversity Institute. And Diversity Institute is that hub that manages the Women Entrepreneurship Hub for the Government of Canada. Thank you so much, Wendy, for joining us today. We look forward to your great insights at the speech session, and we're really excited to have you on board with us. Thank you. Next, I will also be presenting to us the second sponsor at this event, InfCap Corporation. InfCap Corporation is a private equity advisory firm that provides advisory services also to investors looking to invest in various parts of Africa, and of course the African diaspora in Canada. At InfCap Corporation, a lot of members within the community continue to support the initiatives of not only young entrepreneurs, but established businesses that are looking to do business in Africa. I am privileged and I'm a part of InfCap Corporation, and so it's heartwarming to be a part of that group that advances businesses, even to get connected to their ventures and the partners that they're looking to do business with in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome other members of InfCap Corporation Advisory Board that are in the room with us today. Thank you for joining us. Next on the list for us today is we have the RBC group that has been supporting various initiatives of Casa Foundation. And we're glad to continue to enjoy the support of the RBC Royal Bank of Canada, supporting entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurship space, looking to do business within the African Black diasporan community of Canada. We're glad to have RBC on board with us. Thank you for joining us today. I do believe we have just an observer from RBC today with us. Julia MacLeod, thank you for observing. Thank you for joining us today to observe the pitch process and how it's going to be presented to the communities today. Thank you, Julia. Today also, it's heartwarming to also mention that Casa Foundation is an approved program manager for the Black Entrepreneurship Fund, the Black Entrepreneurship National Ecosystem Fund, a new program under the Black Entrepreneurship Program initiated by the Prime Minister of Canada on the 9th of September. And the Casa Foundation has been appointed as one of the program managers of this, the national ecosystem part of the fund. It's a total of $100 million to be advanced in the community to provide training and incubator services to constituents within the community looking to start their entrepreneurship journey. And so we recognize this new initiative by the government of Canada, and believing that a lot of our entrepreneurs and other groups will be beneficiaries of this particular program through the Casa Foundation. And so this support is greatly acknowledged this afternoon, and we thank the government of Canada for that. We have several other partners in the room today. I will not be able to mention everyone, but then we will play some of our cards. We welcome you all. We thank you for joining us. We thank all the other partners supporting us also through the mentorship and advisory services. We know that Scotiabank is one of them, and we acknowledge you all as many of these partners that are joining us today. Thank you. So right now, I'm just going to ask us all to sit back and enjoy the session today, so that we don't make it a session about speeches, but we focus on the group at hand, the process of presenting all our Black entrepreneurs and all the other supporters of the groups within the community and the various businesses that we're presenting this afternoon. So right now, I'm just going to turn it over to Dino and ask that you continue with the program by presenting our businesses represented in the room today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, so thank you for the introduction, Dr. Olutoyin, and welcome to all the judges present today. We're excited to now begin the pitch competition. Before we start, here's a list of all the presenters today in presentation order. So first, we have Chun Yu, who is of Visiontif, which is a company in the tech sector. So Visiontif is a company with a number of different members of their executive team, but I believe Chun Yu is the one who will be presenting on behalf of Visiontif. So welcome. Second, we have Leighton Robinson of Lennibor Academy. Lennibor Academy is in the education sector, so he'll be speaking a little bit later, second on our list. Third, we have Dahlia Little of Angel Cart Electronics Plus Inc., which is in the computers and electronic industry. So right now, we're going to essentially play a video of Dahlia. So Dahlia is on the call. She'll be waiting for the feedback from the judges, but due to some technical issues, she won't be able to make that presentation directly. So we'll just play a video in that place. After Dahlia, we have Jean of Yuco AI. Yuco AI is in health and wellness, e-commerce, artificial intelligence sector. So welcome, Jean. After Jean, we have Ugo and Latoya of Jock Movements. Jock Movements is in the health and wellness sector. So welcome, Jock Movements. We look forward to your presentation. We also have Felicita of Felicita Artistry. Felicita Artistry is in the beauty and retail sector. So we're looking forward to your presentation as well, Felicita. And last but not the least, we have Sandrine Mbassé-Florent, who will be presenting on Cocoma, which is a company in the coaching and personal development sector. So thank you very much for being here today, all the presenters. And before we move forward with the presenters, I'm just going to quickly introduce our judges for our presentation today. So for this year's Friends of Africa Pitchmasters competition, we have presentations from 7 businesses from a wide array of sectors, as I have just listed. They'll be introduced to you shortly when they make their presentations. But firstly, I would like to introduce you our judges. First, we have Professor Wendy Sukir, who is the founder and academic director of the Diversity Institute at Ryerson. So welcome, Dr. Sukir. Second, we have Dr. Nancy Adosi, who is a professor of political science at the University of Houston and a researcher in the UN on migration. So welcome, Dr. Adosi. We look forward to your feedback. Third, we have Ida Slovato, who is the founder of WorkTO. So welcome, Idas. Fourth, we have Cheryl Bedard of Bedard Associates. She's one of the founders of Bedard Associates. Welcome, Cheryl. It's always good to have you here with us. Finally, we also have Julia McLeod, who is the head of strategic operations at RBC Ventures. Welcome, Julia. Julia is attending today as the observer in our Pitchmasters session. So thank you for being present here today. All right, so now without any further ado, so I've listed all the different presenters. Presenters, you're aware of where you lie in the lineup today. But before we begin, I'll just kind of go over some housekeeping rules. And as I'm going over those rules, if you can start getting ready, Chan Yu, you will be going up first with Visiontif. After Chan Yu goes up, we'll have Lennibor Academy going up. But first, before we begin, I'll just go over some housekeeping rules. So if you can please keep your cameras and microphones off unless you're speaking, that'll be appreciated. And the reason we're requesting that is because this is being streamed live. So if your camera or microphone is on, usually the stream will pick it up and you'll be showing on the YouTube stream. However, the one exception to that rule is when we're at the feedback portion of the presentations. And this is just so that the attendees as well behind the streams on YouTube and all our different platforms know who the judges are and would be able to essentially follow the feedback in a more seamless manner. So before we begin, I'm just going to confirm with you, Chan Yu, are you ready to go? I believe you will be sharing your screen for your presentation.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, so whenever you're ready, you can go right away.
So just let me share my screen, just 1 second, please.
No problem.
So, hold on, sorry about that. Let me reshare one more time because I need to make sure. Yeah, I got the sound share. So, may I start now? Hello? Excuse me, Senna, can I start now? Okay, so hold on. Just 1 second, please. Hello, my name is Chen. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Visiontif. Our project, affordable AI voice-activated glasses for the visually impaired to empower them to live independently. Just close your eye for a second and open your eye. It was dark and you are not afraid because you are able to see. What if the darkness is forever? What do you think? What will you do? My uncle Victor was visually impaired. In his life, he was trying to do only one thing, to find a job to support himself. However, it wasn't easy. Even we loved him a lot, we were frustrated at him. It was hard to take care of a disabled family member. Visual impaired is much more common than you anticipate. Globally, close to 80 million, and in the States, 3 million. In Canada, 500,000 people are visually impaired. On the market, we have 2 leading products, Allcam and Vision. They are the best AI glasses for the visually impaired. However, they're very expensive, right? And Allcam is $3,500, and Vision is a $5,000 US, and they don't even provide complete user experience. So for people, they cannot afford AI glasses, they use mobile app, but it's not that easy. You have to activate the app, hold the phone, and point to the objects. And it's not that easy, but it is what it is. Our solution is affordable voice-activated glasses. It's affordable. We are planning to sell it for less than $700. It provides complete user experience with privacy option. It can work online and offline. We completed the prototype. So let me share how the online mode work. Okay, so yes.
Okay, so is that the presentation, Chun-Yu?
Product is.
So you don't see it? Oh, 1 second, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Welcome to Visiontif. Here you will get a tour of smart glasses. Our product is affordable, lightweight, and easy to handle. Let's see what our AI smart glasses are capable of. Hey Alexa, turn on the TV. Alexa, what is on my coffee table?
On your left, coffee mug, center, a book, right, an apple.
Alexa, read book.
I spent much of my childhood listening to the sound of striving. It came in the form of bad music, or at least amateur music.
Alexa, play audiobook.
Getting your selection from Audible. Resuming Rich Dad Poor Dad, 20th Anniversary Edition.
I just kept playing the game as an adult.
So okay, hold on, sorry. So you guys can see the slide, right? So at this moment, okay, so you can see, okay. So at this moment, we are going to slide so from the current slide. Yep. Sorry about that. Slide from the current. Sorry. At this moment, we are working with the Buying Association in Buffalo, New York, VIA, Canada, CNIB, and Hartley Institute in Chicago, Illinois, to roll out the product. And we are going to present our product at the CNIB event, Connect the Dog. And also, we are going to use the Facebook to engage the customer and YouTube to create content to raise the awareness. And our business model, we have 2 stages. So for the first stage, we're going to sell the device for less than $700 monthly subscription plan. And once we get enough sales, we are going to license it to the manufacturer to gain more.
1 more minute.
1 more sales. Okay, so yeah, in the forecast, we are planning to sell 5 units this year, and then 200 next year, and 2 years later, 2,000 units. Even this 2,000 units is still less than 1% of the TAM. We have a strong team. I have a 20 years experience in software development and project management. Bashu has 20 years experience in enterprise architecture. Lennon has 10 years experience in hardware and software development. And also we have 2 well-known mentors to guide us. We take our vision for granted. Our world is so beautiful, but some people cannot experience it. At Visiontif, we committed to make a difference. If you are interested, and I will provide you on demo later on. Thank you very much.
All right, so thank you very much for your presentation, Chun-Yu.
Yeah, sorry about the. Yeah, sorry about the video.
No problem at all. No problem at all.
Yeah.
So before we pass it over to the judges, I wanted to touch on something that I forgot to mention at the beginning. So just for the audience, as a reminder, the presentation is being evaluated on 5 factors. So the structure of the pitch, the viability of the product, the service in the market, the presenter's persuasiveness, the strength of the product or services value proposition, and the overall impression of the presentation. As well, I should also let you know that I will be announcing 1 minute to the end of the 5 minutes timeline. So again, thank you for your presentation, Chun Yu. Lennibor, if you can just hold off 1 second. We're going to have a 5-minute opportunity for the judges to provide some feedback. So Lennibor, if you can turn your camera off, and judges, if you can turn your cameras and microphones on. Thank you.
Chun, it's Cheryl Bedard. Technically, I think you need to smooth out your presentation from a technical perspective. It is possible for you to embed the video into the PowerPoint so that when you click on the slide, it will just start to play. Just and they can do that for you. It's smoothness is really, really important. I found that your slides were good. You had some good data. I do believe that pricing is going to be your claim to fame and your story. So congratulations. I think you found a place in the market for your product.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry about the PowerPoint. I did try it at home. It worked before, but I'm not sure what happened today. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Technology is only great when it works, and we all have those days when it doesn't. So congratulations for being able to move ahead and still give us a good presentation.
Okay, thank you.
I'm happy to jump in. So yes, I think you're addressing a really compelling segment of the market that doesn't have those incredible funds to be able to assist their family members. I really love the personal touch that you gave your story, because really making it a personal thing that you're sharing with other people can help people want to share your story and your vision for what you're doing. So congratulations on that. And you also were able to really keep calm, despite the technical issues that you were having. And that's a really important, founder trait, which is that even when you're under a bit of pressure and nerves, you're able to still perform. And so you did a good job on that. And congratulations on creating a product and bringing it to market.
Thank you so much.
Great. I can jump in if unless Nancy, do you want to go?
No, you can go. Sorry.
You look friendlier than me. Go ahead.
Thank you, Doctor. Just wanted to say this was a great presentation. Definitely a very viable product on the market. I think your presentation went very well. I do want to just let you know, be comfortable with presenting it, because you know best your product. Yeah. More than we do. So be absolutely comfortable, be absolutely confident, because you have a great product.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So I guess my question is, it goes to, you've given sales projections in terms of unit sales, but I'm not sure, maybe I missed it, information on sort of the cost of the product. Who owns the IP, et cetera, et cetera. Can you kind of walk us through what your margins are and some of those details, please?
So we have the product in here. At this moment, we are applying for the grant to build the custom hardware, but we are using the off-the-shelf hardware to build this one. Even with the off-the-shelf, this one we bought it from Amazon. This one is $150. And this one is also from Amazon, right? So it's $200. So even for the off-shelf, we completely off-shelf, no customization with the shipping. The hardware is less than $400. And then the software development, of course, is a fat cost, right? So, I mean, that one, the cost, if we can get, it depends on how many orders we can get, right? So if we can assume the successful Kickstarter to get 100 orders, and then we can get the cost around $400 Canadian, right? So this one, it gives a margin as a 300, and I think should be enough viable for us for the first year. And then,
who owns the intellectual property? Me. And have you received any government grants or external financing today?
No, everything is out of our pocket, so we don't have any financing. At this moment, we are applying for the YADA grant, but it takes time, right? So the best thing for us to do now is, in fact, yesterday we just did a demo to the CNIB staff. They love this product. That's the reason why they recommend us to go to the to present this product at the CNIB
Okay, so
event.
1 more minute left for feedback, sorry.
So yeah, I mean, this one is kind of the important thing is keep the cost as low as possible, because we want to help the people, not to make a right, to make a sale for $3,000, $5,000, right? We want to put this one on everyone's hand and help them to have a better life, because they are just like us, right? But unfortunately, they cannot see. It's really bad.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, so thank you very much for your presentation, Chun Yu. Thank you very much for your feedback, judges. And I hope all you viewing on the different streams are having a good time right now. So we'll be moving forward to our next presenter. Our next presenter is called, his company rather is called Lennibor Academy. So his name is Leighton Robinson, and Leighton, you can turn your camera on. We'll be sharing our screen, and he'll be making his presentation shortly. Lennibor, feel free to turn
I cannot turn on my camera because you have turned it on. Could you turn it on back for me, please?
Okay, 1 second. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I still can't.
One moment. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you. Friends of Africa, thank you for this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Lennibor Academy. For this presentation, I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Thank you. Lennibor Academy, a motivational speaking company. My name is Leighton Robinson. I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm a math teacher, and I'm also a motivational speaker. I would like to share a story with you about Lennibor Academy. I remember when I was about 11 years old, growing up in Kingston, Jamaica. Life was rough for me, for the community, for the country as a whole. And I used to ask myself a lot of questions. Why? Why are things the way it is? I looked at the country, and for me, it was a rich country. However, we were living in poverty. And I'm asking myself, what's missing? Why are we living like this? But as I grow older, I pounced on the answers to these questions. And I realized there were two things missing. The first thing is leadership, visionaries, people with a clear vision as to how to move the people from where they are to where they ought to be. And also the team to execute that vision. The second thing that I found was missing was mentorship. People who have done what we are trying to do, and we are able to emulate them. And these people are also able to guide us to get to where we want to be. From this discovery, I made a promise to myself that I want to be that person to create programs, educational programs, mentorship, leadership, to help people to live a better life and not to feel the way I felt growing up. And from that passion, Lennibor Academy was born. Lennibor Academy is currently a digital platform. We create motivational coaching and mentorship program through audio-visual content. We recognize the challenges people are facing, and we want to help people wherever they are and help them to get to where they would like to be. We are looking at people who are driven, next level people who want to help them with the proper mindset, the tools, and also the training to get there. People who are struggling to meet their basic needs, we want to help them as well, to show them hope, mindset, and the resources to move them forward. Now, one of the things about human beings, we all have purpose, we all are driven, and we all want to reach a point of self-discovery or self-actualization. However, there are steps to get there. And wherever people are, we want to, as I've said before, meet them there and help them to get to where they would like to be, which is to live a better life and a fulfilled life. Through that, we have created a number of programs. Currently, we have 3 programs running. You can see them on YouTube and all other platforms, social media platforms. Profile is an interview program where we bring in entrepreneurs, career-driven people, people who are doing extraordinary things in the community, and we use these people to provide real-life examples, how to find purpose, the tools needed to improve yourself and to grow. We also have various programs, as you can see here. Oops. Now, as a motivational speaking company, we recognize that we all need motivations. And what we have done some research, and we see that thousands of people are watching motivational content each day and researching motivational content. As a result, we recognize there is a market for us. But while we recognize almost everyone needs motivation, not everyone will be our customer. Of the market share, we are looking for 100 million views within the next year. And that would get us to the results we are looking for. Within the next year, we are looking to monetize this business. Sorry, did you say?
So that's time. But I'll let you just wrap up your statement.
All right, I will wrap it up. Thank you. Again, we will monetize it by selling programs, coaching services, and so on. Now, again, we're a startup, but we have the team that is going to get us to where we want to go. And the final slide is, over the next year, we are looking to raise $100,000 to get us to our goal in the next year. We don't expect to make a profit, but we expect to create a brand and to create influence in the market that we can use to grow our business and help people to achieve their goals through our programs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leighton, for the presentation. Now I'm going to hand it over to the judges. Judges, please turn your cameras on, and the floor is yours to ask questions. And this time I would stay out of the way. Sorry.
Okay, I'll start. I hear your passion and I recognize it. I'm a little confused as to how you intend to make money with this program. Are you going to sell it on a subscription basis? Or are you going to have the coaches pay for it? I need to know where the revenue stream is going to come from and how you're going to scale the business.
Thank you for the opportunity to answer this question, as I had to jump over it in the presentation. There are a number of ways we're going to monetize this business. First of all, through ad revenue on YouTube. Secondly, we will be using subscription through our coaching programs and through the various programs that we'll be running. Subscription, coaching programs, and also we will be selling training programs in terms of training manuals on we'll be doing it for like business startups, lean startup systems. We'll be looking at people who are trying to refocus and find their purpose. We will help them to get there.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
And one last. Sorry. And also sponsorship. We will be relying a lot on sponsorship for each of our episodes and programs through organization, local government, and the banks as well. We are in currently. And lastly, also, we are trying to get onto local television. We'll be on Roku and CTV. That's going to be about a year from now, but we are in talks and paperworks are in progress.
Great. Bring that up into your presentation earlier so that we get a grasp of it, and then the rest will follow so that we understand it and know where the funding is going to come from.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thanks. You're doing great, guys. Keep it going.
Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, Nancy, you can go.
I guess I can go next. Just had, first of all, great presentation, very passionate. I had a question about I think you mentioned that you had a viewership goal. I just wanted to know, what is your current viewership as it is now, and which platforms are you on?
We are monitoring YouTube because that is where we want our most revenue is going to come from, even though we are using other platforms to drive traffic to YouTube. Right now on YouTube, we are about 20,000 views on the content that we have shared so far.
Okay. Thank you. Those are all my questions.
Thank you.
So I'm happy to jump in. I really liked that you stated up front your credentials. That shows a lot of confidence in addition to the passion and the personal story that you bring to it. So it's very compelling and memorable. And in terms of just some more clarity around your views, you have, is that 20,000 subscribers that you're defining on YouTube, or unique views?
Unique views.
On one video on your?
No, on everything so far.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this for? Just to get a sense of how much time you've been in this business.
We started this year. We launched in January of this year our program profile, our interview program, which we release one video per week.
One video per week. Okay, that's amazing. And can you tell me a bit about your team?
Yes, of course. Right now we have 3 core members and a few others who are employees. The core members, we have a director and a creative director and a producer. I am I host the profile interview, and I'm also the president of the business. We also have an executive producer who's working with us. This producer is trying to get us on television and other platforms, and also running the marketing department as well.
Wonderful. Yes. And if I could just jump in one more time, do you have an ask for us in terms of what you're looking at to pitch for and how we can help?
Certainly. No, our goal for the first year would like to raise $100,000. That will get us to where we want to go in terms of the outstanding equipment that we need to get. Marketing is going to be very critical, and we want to invest in that because, again, branding is important, and that's where we're going. Yes.
Thanks. Very good answers. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So I agree. I think your articulation of the need and your enthusiasm is impressive. And just looking at your existing website, I mean, the quality of the,
check this out.
Oops, sorry. The quality of the production values seem to be quite high. But what I would note, however, is that you've got 300 subscribers, presumably none of them paying, and some of the videos have very few views. So I think from my point of view, the big question is having a very clear articulation of how you're going from there to where you want to go. Because even with $100,000, you can't buy you know, 1 million subscribers or whatever. It's you have to have, money doesn't actually buy eyeballs. So I don't know if you've thought about that in any more detail, what you would actually spend the money on in order to drive the traffic.
May I? No, we have done a lot of testing to see how do we reach our early adopters. Now, one of the things we see work best is direct marketing. And we have a person whose job is going out there. We are on Clubhouse, we are on Twitter, the various platforms, and we are connecting with people one by one, because that is what works best for us so far. We still do marketing, advertisement, digital marketing, because that does work too. But direct marketing is right now where we're just selling the vision, being in groups, and just keep selling, keep promoting, and networking as well. We're networking with, you name them, we're reaching out to them.
Great, thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, so thank you very much for your feedback, judges. Julia, if you have any observations or feedback, please go ahead. Your microphone is turned down or off, I think.
18 months in and I can't figure out mute. Thank you. I loved your passion too, and I was wondering if there was any types of videos that you found resonated well with your audience. It strikes me that the motivational speaking is quite a breadth of activity, and I was wondering if you had thought about specializing, or if there was types that seem to resonate better with your audience.
Yes, we have thrown out a bunch of concepts to see what people gravitate towards. I realize a lot when we do things that are spiritual, mention God in it, we get a lot of people gravitate towards it the most. We understand. However, we want to focus on two groups. Again, entrepreneurs, and also people who are trying to, based on the personal development, we are looking at people who are looking at, you know, personal development and self-mastery. And we want to create programs to help these people to achieve their goals. Yeah.
All right, so thank you very much for that presentation, Leighton. Thank you very much for your feedback as well, judges. That was a very, very good presentation. So we'll be moving on to our next presenter. So our next presenter, like I had mentioned earlier, I'll be sharing her presentation. I'll be sharing a video recording of her presentation, after which she's in the room now. So she would be ready and present to take any questions and feedback from the judges. So I will be sharing my screen in a second. Okay, and now that you can see my screen, I will start her.
We have no sound. Dino, there's no sound.
Thank you for the feedback. Just give me one moment. Okay, give me one. Yes, Dr. would be sharing the video. Just give me one moment. Hold on just a minute. We're just trying to get the video sound to come out, and we'll be sorted shortly. All right, so we seem to be having just a little bit of an issue. So what we want to do, if you're okay with it, the person to go pitching after her is Jean. Jean, quick question. Would you be ready to go up now? And then afterwards, we'll play Dahlia's video so the judges can have an opportunity for some feedback.
Hi. Yes, Dennis, thank you. I can go.
Thank you, and sorry for the impromptu call, but whenever you're ready, feel free to share your screen and make your presentation. So just to make an introduction, this is the presenter called Jean, and he's representing Yuco AI. And Jean, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Can you actually click on that link and share your screen? That would be perfect.
Sure, one second.
Thank you. Sorry, Dennis, can you share your screen, please? Thank you. Oh, yes, awesome.
Sorry for the
you can
wait.
probably, that's okay. You can probably click on the, yes, that right there. Yeah, just to enlarge it. Awesome, thank you. All right. Hello, my name is Jean. I'm the CEO of Yuco AI, based in Toronto. We are building the future of personalized shopping for self-care products. My co-founder and I actually have had experience with skincare issues, and therefore we are starting with skincare. By talking to customers, we learned 3 key points: that it takes time and effort to find a skincare product that works. On average, the purchasing process takes 1 to 3 hours. Using the wrong skincare product can damage your skin, and there's quite a bit of try and error. Scheduling a skin expert consultation can take more than 60 days in Toronto, in Canada in general. So no easy way exists to get personalized recommendations. We want to help our customers sort through millions of products to find the best fit for them. We do this by automating the visit to a dermatologist process. We are developing an intelligent product agnostic online platform that leverages deep learning to analyze facial images and predict skin conditions. We combine image skin conditions. We combine image data, customer preferences, and experts' knowledge into an AI model for a personalized recommendation. We have built a consumer mobile app that is easy to use. The user will just simply take a selfie, and within no time, we build a routine for them based on thousands of products available on the market. We provide skin analysis report, skin tracking, and community engagement. We're targeting scaled growth. In terms of dollars, estimated market size for North America and Europe alone is about 2.9 billion. And we intend to eventually have a global reach. Our primary target is to sell to consumers directly. This is so that we can maintain our promise to the brand to be brand agnostic. and have access to unbiased data that is key to ethical AI. We will charge a commission and subscription fee. In the future, we will serve many adjacent markets, such as teledermatology, without major changes to our technology. With the marketplace business model, we have a demand and a supply side. At first, we need lots of users, so we are starting with an affiliate model to build the demand side. Our app will be available on the Apple Store and Google Play Store. We will popularize the app through social media and blog content creation, partnering with micro-influencers, in-event activities, including connecting with universities, groups, and indoor advertisement at beauty shops, salons, and barbershops. So basically where our clients are today. We will provide promotional codes for existing users to refer their friends and generate a word of mouth effect. Once the demand side is stable, we will attract various brands by showing them the traffic on our platform. For our competitive landscape, Yuco AI is the only platform that offers brand agnostic and highly personalized recommendations. We have indirect competitors such as retailers and brand e-commerce platforms. All these platforms have little to no personalization, or they are inherently biased. On the other hand, automation platforms such as eYouth Finder by Lancôme and customizable providers such as Curology offer high personalization, but remain brand biased. In the last 5 months, we moved with speed to ideate, validate, study the market, and build the MVP. We are currently running tests with friends and family, and we will be launching a public pilot on October 8th. Our domain knowledge team is led by Dr. Aditi, and Aura is working on our marketing efforts. Aish, Sajid, and I have a background in AI data engineering, computer vision. Sajid is completing his master's at the University of Toronto, where he uses AI and computer vision to analyze medical images. I have worked at Huawei as a researcher in vehicle perception at the University of Waterloo, where I led a team of 20 researchers and engineers to develop an electric autonomous bus that drives around the campus. We believe we are well equipped to deliver an affordable and highly personalized and brand agnostic solution to the masses. Thank you so much.
All right, so thank you very much for your presentation, Jean, of Yuco AI. So moving forward, I'm just going to stop sharing the screen here. 1 second. Stop sharing. All right. So judges, you can take it away.
I'd like to go first, if I may. Really good, really strong presentation, really clear, and very persuasive. Thank you very much for that. I had a few very specific questions. So when it comes to skin conditions, there are a lot of factors that can, as you would know, affect the interpretation. So, you know, the color of your skin has a big impact on how certain conditions would manifest themselves. And then there's also the distinction between things that are sort of cosmetic, you know, I have dry skin or an oily nose, versus something that is a serious medical condition, you know, skin cancer or a symptom of something else. So I'm wondering if you can walk us through how you're going to deal with that. And then secondly, I mean, it's well known that a lot of skin products are, you know, 95% marketing and packaging and 5% effectiveness, if that.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing, is how are you going to mediate quality issues? Are you making any assurances when if you recommend a product, how far can can the consumer go in trusting that recommendation based on science?
Thank you so much. For your first question, first of all, we are targeting to remain over the counter. So our system will have a way of triaging and determining whether your condition is severe, and then recommend a dermatologist, which we can provide a way to book a session, a live session for that. But for on-the-counter products, like you said, people have different skin types, dry, oily. So in our process, we allow people to take selfies and then answer a few questions about their skin type. And then currently what we have, because AI needs a lot of data, so our pipeline actually is meant to really collect unbiased data at the moment. And then over time, we'll be augmenting the estheticians and dermatologists in our team with AI, because also trying to scale up with just humans in the loop, the number of estheticians and dermatologists we need just rockets up. It's like a hockey stick. But eventually, more data we collect, we'll be able to now augment with the AI and now maintain the few estheticians and dermatologists that just needs to check. For different types of skin, like black skin or brown skin versus Caucasian skin, we currently are actually seeing the pattern of getting a lot of data from Caucasian. So we will make sure that our dermatologists can keep an eye on different other skins until we have enough data to actually mature our AI system. On your second question about providing any assurances, we are providing that consultation at the very minimum, sort of professional consultation, if you will, expert consultation, which is very hard to get right now. So people are ending up trusting their friends, trusting the influencers on social media, and whatever works on your skin doesn't work on someone else's skin. So in a way, at the bare minimum, we're able to provide that consultation from an expert.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
I'm happy to jump in. So I've had the pleasure of watching a founder also in this space come up with a competitor. And it was really interesting watching her trajectory growing her business in terms of, getting people on board, testing products and providing reviews. And I'm wondering if you could tell me a bit more about your genesis story of how you came into being interested in this, because that was a big factor for her trajectory in terms of her success, because it was so compelling. And I'm really curious about your backstory as to why Yuco became so important for you.
Yeah. So for me and my co-founder, we experienced skin issues in the past growing up. Even today, I still have the struggle with the breakouts. And the process of getting a product that works is very difficult. Myself, I tried to see a dermatologist. It took me about 2 months to get an appointment after getting a referral. So the process is really difficult today. Now, how we came up with this, we came together trying to have an idea where we can apply the knowledge, AI knowledge. And we started actually looking at providing skin analysis, so full skin analysis. And then we were like, this is a very difficult problem, especially if we're trying to say, okay, somebody has cancer or not, based on the AI prediction. So we're like, how can we zoom in into a specific problem? And so we Googled and started looking at what other people are having issues around this getting consultation, expert consultation. And we found there's huge following. There's a lot of people who are posting on social media saying, I have this condition. They post their pictures. What should I use? And people comment. So in a way, that's what really galvanized us to automate that process and give people some expert consultation.
That's a really composed answer. I also wanted to commend you on the way that you created your presentation. You were very clear about establishing who you are. I really like that. The fact that you have a co-founder was really good. And that you talk, the problem statement is straight out the gate. You're very clear on that. And in addition, you go straight to talking about the solution in a very concise way. And so that's, just kudos to you on, addressing that from the get-go at the beginning of your presentation. It shows that you have experience pitching and you're working on your polish. So, good job there. And you also articulated about how, like your vision for this, is to continue to grow it. And can you be more clear on the ask in terms of if you were to get funding, in addition to this pitch event, what that would look like for you and how we can help?
So right now we are looking to raise 700,000 Canadian. And this is to allow us to experiment and basically get to the level where we are confident with product market fit. And then later on, then we can try to expand and actually scale up the business. Thank you.
John, very professional presentation, very well organized. It was easy to follow your thinking process. Kudos to you. It made it very easy to understand you. This is a very rich field and differs as you go from country to country and continent to continent. Are you going to do it only in English, or are you going to offer it in other languages?
We're going to offer in other languages, but it's going to be a process, a series of release. Right now, we just actually, even our pilot is only US and Canada. And then our next target is some countries in Europe, and then expand from there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think I can go next. So I had quite a few questions. First of all, great presentation. My first question is, so something that Dr. Kukie mentioned was that you have to be very careful about like different skin colors and all those things. But I, as someone who suffers from like other types of things, I'm thinking you also have to be careful about hormone levels and using certain products. So I'm thinking as a lawyer, and I'm thinking about the fact that if you tell me based on your automated system that I need to buy Fenty Beauty, and I go and I buy Fenty Beauty and Fenty Beauty reacts against my skin, I mean, I'm gonna come back to you. So have you considered that?
We have, and we actually have a very detailed questionnaire that is developed by our dermatologists. So we ask things like, do you have any allergies? Are you pregnant? Because if you're pregnant, some products you shouldn't use. And in addition to the fact that really the products we are recommending are over the counter, and they're built by very renowned brands. So in a way, there's a very minimum risk to that effect, but we still ask questions as well to really understand who we are serving.
Okay, and then another thing that I wanted to propose, this might not be an idea that you've thought about, but I honestly think that it's worth it to have, yes, you have the concept right. Yes, it's great. I honestly want you to start first with matching people with dermatologists. And then once you have dermatologists, you have enough data from dermatologists that you can say, well, based on 500 examples of people who have, for example, like pimples here, and our dermatologists have recommended this particular product, we can recommend that. So I think that's a stronger argument for like bringing that data in. So I would say, I don't want to discourage you, but I also do want you to be very, very aware that you don't have enough data to be able to recommend beauty products to people. Anything that touches people's faces, their mouths, their stomachs, you want to be very careful with that. So it's just an idea, but that's something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, what we're doing today, there's no AI at all. We have an AI algorithm built, but because we don't have enough data to trust it, the entire process is managed by humans in the loop, so dermatologists and estheticians on our team. But of course, we can expand that team. And what happens is that the good thing about it is the way we've built the pipeline is that from the end user perspective, they'll never see any change. Even when we bring in AI, the interface will remain the same. So the experimentation we are doing in terms of the user experience and user behavior will actually be the same even when we bring in the AI into the loop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question about your competitors. Like, who do you think you're competing against in this space? Is it similar digital products, or is it more like going to a Sephora, or is it going to a dermatologist?
Mm-hmm. So to us, it's more like going to Sephora. So really, in a way, we're indirectly competing with Sephora because we don't intend to produce our own products. We don't intend to keep any inventory. We just want to be the facilitator. But in a way, that's really our competitor because they are also brand agnostic. You can find any product there. So we are bringing that automation part of it to allow the personalization so that people feel confident in what they're buying. And in a way, actually, it will increase, let's say, the conversion rate for Sephora itself or any other brand we may partner, and then reduce also the cart abandonment rate. So we're really bringing value to brands who will partner as well, in addition to providing them data actually, so that they can really understand the market segmentation of who uses their products.
Do you consider that another revenue stream?
Yes. So in the future, we feel like we can also make money by, let's say, providing API platforms, API interface to, let's say, other brands, especially small brands that are fighting their way in this market business to be recognized, because there's so much, people are now looking for, let's say, animal-free products, for instance. There's people who are looking for certain products, but it's really hard to dig deeper and find. And there's so many small boutiques, beauty boutiques. There's so many small brands that are coming up. So we can actually help them, bring them online and help them compete in the market.
Thank you for that.
All right, thank you very much for that presentation, Jean, and for the robust feedback, judges. We'll be trying one more time to share the presentation from Dahlia. So bear with me, just give me a second. I'm going to share my screen and we'll go right from there. All right, so I'm still having some technical issues on my end. We'll still try and figure this out. So Dahlia, we'll still try and get your presentation to play. In the meantime, we're going to move on to the next presentation on our list. So up next, we have Bob Shilingi of Totally African Shop. So Bob, you'll be sharing your screen, making the presentation. I'll be giving you a heads up at the 1 minute mark. And just for time, I will try and be a little bit more, I'll be more vocal about the 1 minute mark for the presenters and for the judges as well, just because we're running out of time. So again, thank you for your patience, everyone. Bob, I will let you go right ahead with the presentation.
Thank you so much. Let me just share my screen here. Okay, perfect. Fantastic. All right, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much to the Friends of Africa Conference for setting up this amazing event and giving us the opportunity to do this. My name is Bob Shilingi. I am the founder and CEO of Totally African Shop. And to best describe what Totally African Shop is, I think it would be great to start with a good story. I'm a fan of stories. And this story starts back with my first year here in Canada as an international student. I was invited by a lovely family to go for dinner. And during this family, my friend who I'd made at that time brings out her phone. She knew I was from Uganda in Africa. And she shows me this shoe, this amazing African shoe. And she says, Bob, the next time you go back home, you have to get me one of these. And little did she know, in that moment, she sparked the idea for Totally African Shop. Oh, let's see here. So that's about this company. What is Totally African Shop? So Totally African Shop is the Amazon of Africa. We are a marketplace similar to Amazon and Etsy. That's our business model. But what makes us unique is that we are exclusively African, okay? So Totally African Shop is a bridge. This platform is a bridge connecting people who are already looking for African-inspired, African-owned products. And we're also connecting them with the companies who are already providing them all on one platform. Okay, so on Totally African Shop, what you will find is the widest and best selection of African-inspired products in categories such as men and women's fashion, home decor, art, books, and so much more, and all that African-inspired. And our goal here is to promote African excellence. There's so much of it. So how does it work? Like I mentioned, it's a marketplace, so it's two-sided. So on one side, we have the sellers. These will be, as we are working with established brands and companies, which are African-inspired or African-owned, and also upcoming ones. And they would open a virtual shop on this marketplace. And then we would attract customers to our website, totallyafricanshop.com. And once the purchase is made, our revenue is received through a commission, and the rest is sent to the seller. So just from a market analysis point of view, African fashion alone is a $31 billion industry. And that's just a very conservative number because of the growth, the radical growth over the years of African fashion and also African-inspired products, especially with the adoption of these in popular Hollywood and North American styles as well. So we do have some competitors in this space who are doing something very similar to what we are doing, but we have our way of standing out. One of them being Africrea, that is our top competitor, and also Zuva as well. So one of those ways we are also a big factor of this is COVID-19, and also with the Friends of Africa conference, the target was regarding, the theme of this conference was regarding, rebuilding our economy, building back after this pandemic. And this pandemic alone has actually, it's very much so catalyzed the growth and the need for online solutions. I'm sure we can order too much Uber Eats, I'm not alone in that, or online shopping, so that has increased. And we want African products to be included with that. And that's why this marketplace is really essential. And we don't just stop there. It's not just about coming and shopping. We thought that one of our core values is to give back. So we thought, what if there's a way we could implement it from the very conception of this company, that as you shop on our platform, you're actually giving back. So we're committing to donate 1% of every sale, of every purchase made on our platform, towards specific charities that are effectively working across Africa. That was through our charity, Totally African Cares. So that covers our social responsibility side of things. What are we currently doing? Right now, we are looking towards the launch of our marketplace. We are onboarding sellers. We're actually onboarding our first 100 sellers. The reception has been amazing. As I've started reaching out and talking to different brands who will be onboarding on our platform, people have been wanting this. This is a community that we are creating, a connection that we're creating, and a network that we are building. So we also have effective marketing strategies, because at the end of the day, we want to promote these brands that are selling on our platform as well. And that also increases their brand visibility. So not doing this alone, this is a big task. And we have a fantastic team, including myself and many others as well here, and also companies who have partnered along with me on this journey. What we are doing is that we are effectively—
1 minute.
Okay. The long-term vision of this is that we are looking to actually create this platform that would boost trade, first of all, which is boost global trade of African products. So within Africa, but also around the world as well. Our vendors, some are from Africa and some are also the diaspora located around the world. And we're also boosting collaboration, effective marketing strategies as well, just to send this out there. So whether you're a potential customer or who is looking for the best of African products, or maybe you are a vendor or someone who wants to sell your products, bring a new stream of income into your business, or maybe you're an investor, one of our judges here, check out Totally African Shop and you give us one shot, and believe me, you'll be very impressed. Sound fair enough? I hope it does. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, so thank you very much for your presentation, Bob. I will now open the floor to the judges. Judges, take it away.
Well, I'll jump in because I'm just like bouncing off my seat. First of all, like, so impressed, full stop. Really, you knocked off all the things off my list in terms of what I look at when I'm referring founders. You have charisma, you have team, you're articulate, you have problem, you have solution, you have enthusiasm, and your charm is just so effusive and contagious. And I'm sure you got that vibe, you know, as you talk to the 100 people. So you also have credibility. So congratulations on solving a big problem for a lot of people and bringing the credibility that this problem needs. So like amazing. So I want to jump to something. First of all, I love the 1% to charity. That's brilliant. And it's important because now that opens it up to impact investors who believe in triple bottom line founders. And I'm going to invite you to an entrepreneur community that is founded of people like yourself who really believe in giving back in addition to being a profitable, strong business. And we can I'll reach out to you later. And in terms of, I think one of the concerns that you probably have to address with your team is how do you validate that the products that you're getting are, you know, part of the BIPOC community in terms of people who are saying we're a company that's BIPOC owned or our product is derived ethically or whatever claims that people are making in terms of what are the values that are aligned with what you're doing. And I look forward to hearing how you address that problem and look forward to sharing your mission and what you're doing and really helping any way I can. So thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And that's a great question and something that did come up as well, especially as we start scaling. On the smaller level, it's easy to vet each one. So what we're doing in the meantime to cater to that, as part of our platform, our software platform where we're managing this behemoth of a project, we do have something where instead of just letting you in right away when you create your shop, we would have to go through some just back checks as well to who you are. Are you actually the founder? You know, those checks. So it's not an automatic like, okay, I created my seller's account and now I'm selling. So we did put a restriction there a bit just for our team as well to do our due diligence and make sure that is the case.
Yeah, that's amazing. And also maybe even offering, you know, your people to reach out to you in terms of, reporting if they have insight that maybe somebody has managed to slip through your controls and, you know, make that well known so that because what's really important about a community that supports what you're doing is that within that community, they all stand behind you to guard your brand and your integrity. And I think that that's really powerful is that, there's people who will also jump in and let you know when they learn something that you need to know and creating that pipeline of information that goes straight to whoever is responsible for following up with that. So great that it's on your radar and really excited to see diversity also on your team there in terms of, intersectional diversity there. So good job on that. I'll step back and let somebody else jump in.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I would just say that I wouldn't minimize or underestimate the problem of verification. You know, the federal government is investing many $1 million in the Black entrepreneurship strategy. And there's, while that's creating lots of opportunities for Black-owned businesses, it does also create potential abuses. And even in the women entrepreneurship space, there's a lot of questions about whether it's women-led, women-owned, et cetera, et cetera. So I would suggest that you might be wise to look at partnering with a third party to work on supplier verification, because there's CAMC, I'm on the board of the Federation of African Canadian Economics, which is in the same boat. And given how much attention is currently being paid right now to Black entrepreneurs specifically, it might be well worth your while to partner with one of those organizations to ask for their help in certifying the businesses. So it's not on you, it's on them.
Thank you so much for that tip. I'm taking note of that. Thank you. It's actually fantastic.
I think I can go next. Great idea, absolutely amazing. I have actually used Africa before, so it's interesting to see that there are other businesses that are in this space right now. I absolutely love the fact that you're giving away 1% of the earnings. I think like Ida said that it's going to open up more doors to impact funders. I don't have any questions or any critiques, just letting you know that you're doing a great job. I just remembered one, the logo, just asking you to modernize it just a bit to appeal to, what is it, Generation X and Generation Z. So that's something else to look at.
Thank you.
I love your enthusiasm, Bob. You speak very casually, but I could hear the organization behind what you were saying. So it comes across as very comfortable, and you're comfortable with your idea and you're comfortable with yourself. And that comes across, that gives you a sense of people who are looking to invest with you also will have that same comfort, that you have a very positive forward motion and you're excited, but you also backed it up with the numbers and the knowledge to be able to make this work. And becoming an Amazon is something that they need to run for their money. And the only question I had is, will you be also offering these services between the countries in Africa? And how will you address the payment schedules in Africa, because they're not the same as in other parts of the world?
Cheryl, that is a fantastic question. And it's something that's actually very near and dear to this project as well. As much as we are promoting trade with globally, we're also focusing on Africa because we do realize that that's a very young market. And we know that there's so much opportunity there and a big need for solutions. So regarding that, we have actually started working with some payment gateways who are focusing on mobile money, which is a popular use in Africa, where you can just directly send it. And we were partnering with a company called Adyen, who's going to be working with us on this. They're payment gateway gurus on this, and they've been doing this for a long time, and also have past experience with marketplaces as well, similar to what we have. So that one of their options, and that's one of the reasons we chose their platform. One of their options is that they also focus on Africa and the emerging market there with the use of mobile money to send transactions. So that's one of the options. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw everyone else. That was a great presentation. I really enjoyed listening to your pitch. Can you talk a little bit more about your marketing plan, how you'll get the word out about this?
Yes, that's my favorite part. And that's, I think, also where we can really set ourselves different from Africa, for example. So we are planning to go heavy on like whether it be social media and SEO and web marketing. So on the social media side of things, we are focusing on influencer marketing, where we're partnering with influencers, especially those who have niched down to the African market. And we've actually started these conversations, and based on the analytics we're getting from them, we specialize it to our target audience as well. And the influencers who are doing that's one of our routes. We of course have social media marketing, whether it be Instagram and Facebook marketing as well. And that's where the investment is very, very heavily needed, because we're not holding inventory, but we have to drive traffic to our platform. I didn't get the chance to speak on it just because of time, but we also have things like we launched a podcast, the Totally African podcast, earlier this year. So that is really another effective way of getting word out there. We launched it a couple of months ago. We're now at 700 views already, 700 subscribers and growing. And we've already done lots of interviews as well, where we're telling Africa's story. So as part of that marketing strategy, we are actually, if I could mention here, that's another department, which is the Totally African brand itself. So there's the shop, but there's the brand side of it, where with our brand, we're able to tell Africa's story. That's the theme there. So whether it be YouTube, creating organic content, but also paid media as well, paid content as well, paid ads, I should say. So we're utilizing both the organic side of things, where we're working with different production companies in Uganda and around Africa to tell Africa's story, interviewing with our podcast, and we have so many great ideas. And I realized that, especially on this theme of growth and bouncing back after this pandemic, at the end of the day, to build this economy and to build that next level, we're going to need collaboration. So there's going to be lots and lots of collaboration as well. including collaborations with companies as well. We do have that on our radar for our marketing, where we're collaborating if it makes sense and if it does fit. We would like to also collaborate with some companies as well too. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so thank you very much for that presentation, Bob. So Totally African Shop, the next Amazon. Well, and thank you as well, judges, for your feedback, as well as Julia, your observations and feedback. So one more time, we're going to attempt to play Dalia's video. So Dalia, your video goes for about 5 minutes, after which you're going to have the opportunity to get some feedback from the judges. So one moment.
Still no sound.
Yeah, so we're still having challenges with the sound. Dalia, any chance you have the video on your computer and can share? All right, we'll contact Dalia and just try and figure out what the next best steps will be.
Hello, hi Dino.
Hi, Dalia.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Do you have the video on your computer? Can you share your screen?
I do, but I'm having technical difficulty of opening it, and that's what the issue is as well. So at this time, I will not be able to play it. I've tried several times to get it open.
Okay, we'll try and figure it out. For now, we'll just move on to the next presenter, but we'll try and figure out the technical issue and get the video to play.
Okay, thank you.
No problem at all. And so up next, we're going to move to our next presenter. So we're going to Ugo of Jock Movements. So Ugo, whenever you're ready, share your screen. You have 5 minutes. I'll give a 1 minute heads up before the presentation is done. You can go ahead.
All right.
And share your screen if you like as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna share. There we go. So, sorry, give me a second.
I think the full screen is on the bottom right. Okay, nice.
There we go. So, hi, my name is Ugo, and our company is called Jock Movements, and we're just going to go right into it. So, the agenda for today, we're going to speak a little bit more about our company, the services we provide, our target audience, packages and pricing, as well as our startup costs, promotional strategies, and goals. So Jock Movements is an online fitness studio. So we intend for it to be an app as well as a website with on-demand classes and live classes and other fitness-related services. Our name, Jock Movements, stands for Joining Creativity and Kinetic Movements, and that aligns with our core beliefs of rehabilitating the body using movement and other aspects of motion to give people a more positive relationship with their own body and feel more comfortable in their own skin while working towards their fitness goals. And moving ahead, the team is made up of myself and my partner, as well as my wife. We're fitness professionals going on, 10 years and plus. My wife is a yoga instructor, a mindfulness coach, as well as a group fitness instructor and a nutritional coach. So for my experience, I'm a multidisciplinary fitness professional and also a group fitness coach and martial arts instructor. I've had over about 30 years in martial arts and a plant-based nutritionist. So moving forward, we focus on real results. So here at Jock Movements, our slogan is move, sweat, and create. So by movement, we want to engage people for about 3 to 4 times in a week, 3-4 times in a week, just so that they develop the particular motor skills to be able to reach their goals and develop the consistency to be able to add fitness as a viable source of feeling good and just overall boosting productivity, and also seeing lasting results moving forward. So sweating, like that aspect goes into what we know in fitness industry as HIIT. We employ a HIIT style of training, which refers to high intensity interval training. So we push the body for short periods of time and then give it a rest and then do that again. So a short workout, like 30-minute workout, can give you results that you would usually get in 2 months in about 2 weeks. And after a 30-minute workout with us, that keeps your body eating up fat or burning fat for the next 24 to 36 hours post-workout. And lastly on our slogan is create. So with creating, we want you to be able to create your ideal lifestyle, and we want you to know that the best you is still yet to come. So with the create aspect, we have our professionals like myself and my partner ready to individualize your fitness program to be able to meet your goals, and so you can see results a lot faster. So we offer 4 main services: one-on-one private coaching, group fitness classes. We'll have challenges and fitness programs available on the website, as well as nutrition counseling. So you have the best of pretty much, or best of all the aspects that you would usually get from a gym or other fitness services that are provided, but all in one studio, all in one application. So over the last year, as we've known, this pandemic has affected every aspect of life, particularly the fitness fitness industry, and has forced more people to be able to go online and have to look for those services that they would have usually walked into a gym for. And that's where we want to capitalize on. So there are 5 major segments within the fitness industry, and we want to capitalize on people with health needs, whether they are physical or mental health needs, and we want to be there for them, especially as an online platform, so that they can also attain their goals while still living their life, their regular lives. We're going to be targeting professionals and people working from home, typically between the ages of 24 and 45, with moderate to high incomes, who have busy lifestyles and schedules, but also need to be able to remain productive throughout this time. And that's where our 30-minute workouts actually come in. So there's a brief display of our pricing packages. And moving forward, our startup cost is about $3,000 to $5,000. And that's going to be used over 6 months to be able to launch our app and also promote it on social media, using content, fresh new content, and also giveaways. So we want to be able to build our mailing list and or reach out to as many people as we possibly can. So our best sellers are going to be monthly subscriptions, our one-on-one training, as well as.
All right, so it's time. I'll just let you wrap up.
All right, no problem. So, finishing off, we aim to be able to promote our service using Instagram and YouTube and other social media platforms. Like I said, giveaways to be able to build our mailing list, and also free and donation-based classes and open houses. And we want to be, our goal is to be able to build over 10,000 active users and become a leader in the fitness field. So that's pretty much it. Sorry, I went over time just a little bit.
All right, so thank you for your presentation. I'll now open the floor up to the judges. Judges, you can go right ahead. And whoever feels, or whoever grabs the mic first can go right away, I think. Or maybe I'll say, let's start with Cheryl. Cheryl, do you have any feedback for the presentation?
I'd like to know exactly where you are right now. Are you up and running, or are you still just at the beginning? I didn't quite sense where you were in your business.
Yeah, so we are up and running. We actually just finished a 8-week challenge. We actually finished an 8-week challenge. We had a few people that actually participated, and Dino was one of the actual participants before. But you know, that's what we're doing right now. Me and my partner have been working in fitness industry for the last few years, and we decided to come together and develop a studio based off of our actual expertise.
So you have a physical location as well as the online?
Right now, we have access to a physical location for one-on-one training. So we have spots that we can rent out depending on our clients' needs, but we actually service our clients primarily online using Zoom and WhatsApp and FaceTime to be able to train our clients.
Okay, so you're selling on a subscription basis. And what's your projection over the next year, the next 2 years, next 5 years, in terms of growing it to the amount that you've stated? Where do you see this market, and where are you currently located, and how are you going to expand beyond that?
Okay, so we're currently located in Toronto here, but we want to be able to expand using a virtual platform to the African continent as well as throughout the diaspora. My partner is from the Caribbean, and we want to be able to use our advantages knowing those home bases to be able to reach out to people in those places. And we noticed that developing the service that there isn't anything particularly out there for the diaspora. Like, there's nothing in terms of apps like Nike and CenterFit and some of the other apps like Allo Moves, but nothing with predominantly a person of color at the helm there. So we wanted to be able to change that, and we wanted to use an app because that's more accessible. Most people have access to their phones, and it's easier and more convenient, especially for working professionals. If you can fit 30 minutes in the morning to get your workout in, then this is something that we believe can be quite beneficial. I've seen the results myself, working with people firsthand, doing one-on-one classes as well as group classes. And we want to be able to use the group setting by offering live classes and movement challenges on our site to funnel people into a one-on-one, more personalized instruction and guided sessions. So that's where that kind of comes in.
Can I just follow up on one question? Dealing in Africa is very, very different. We have the challenge of getting paid because many people don't have the same opportunities to pay online as we do here in North America or in Europe. The other challenge you're going to deal with and have you addressed is many people have cell phones, but they don't have data. So what percentage of the marketplace are you going to be looking at in Africa? It generally runs about 10% is the sort of the wealthier people who have data and have access. Is that your market, or are you going to be looking at a bigger market in Africa?
We're going to actually start off with that market. Okay. Most of the payment would be on PayPal, and that's how we want to be able to process our payments, PayPal and Stripe. But we want to start off with a market that is relatively small and be able to grow that. So people that work from home currently and miss the gym, like most of my clients were professionals from different fields. They were doctors. They were people that go to work every single day, and they had access to the gym. I taught classes as early as 6 a.m. in the morning. And now most of my current clients just don't have that access anymore. Some of them have had to move. So working out online just kind of makes sense for them at this point in time. So that's who we wanted to start off with and then grow moving outwards. So we wanted to start off with our home base here in Toronto, and then use online promotional strategies like Instagram videos, live classes, donation-based classes, and spread the word, growing an online Facebook community as well. So people who need a little bit of guidance or support or motivation, like working out in groups, or even little things like tips and tricks from other professionals or other people's experiences, to be able to help the newer movers to achieve their goals and also connect and really feel that they have a supportive community.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Julia.
Okay, I'll let you guys.
I was going to ask how you came up with your pricing.
I'm sorry?
How you came up with your pricing.
Oh, our pricing was based off of not just our competitors, but what we find is more affordable for people in that specific income bracket. So for the $40 per month or $39.99 gives you access to fitness challenges that will be posted in there, and those are actually free, and there will be actual live classes. So that's what's included in the $40 with the $40 price package. We're going to have 2 live classes, but the challenge aspect of it is available to most of our users. There's going to be 5 to 15 minute challenge videos, so you can get that workout in. And also we're going to have a blog. So we're going to have a blog attached to that service, so people can read up about it, learn more about not just fitness, but nutrition and other things that go with fitness, because we approach fitness and health from a holistic point of view. So the $40 is just a month to month. And then if you were to sign on for about 3 months, which would be billed quarterly, then that's about $30 or $29.99. And if you were to make a longer commitment for about a year, then that comes out to be about $20 per month. But there would actually be fitness programs and other packages that would be available on the site. So our subscribers that are billed about quarterly and yearly would have about a 5 to 10% discount.
Just wanted to point out the time, but I'll let you wrap that up. And then I'll let Wendy, Idas, and Nancy also probably have questions.
Sorry, and I think you mentioned it, but I missed it. And what was your projection in terms of year over year number of subscribers at $40 a month?
At $40 a month, we wanted to be able to get about, in our first year of operation, we wanted to get about 1,000 subscribers, either on a $40 price package or with a longer commitment of about a year, simply because for you to actually see the results, lasting results, you would have to be able to engage in physical activity for anywhere about 3 months to 6 months to be able to see, to develop the motor skills, develop the consistency in your habit, as well as be able to reach your physical potential. So about 3 times in a week, working out anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes per session. In about 2 years, you should be able to reach about 95% of your genetic potential. And I've seen this happen based off of my previous clients.
Thanks.
I'll jump. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say thank you for the presentation. I have no questions at this time, but great presentation. Loved the visuals, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm really interested in your results-based work. Are you actually working on a white paper or studies around talking about the results that you're getting? Because it sounds like a really bold claim about taking 2 months down to, 2 months down to 2 weeks. And it reminds me also of Orange Fitness and their big pitch on how they can really condensify, their incredible fitness package. I've never tried Orange Fitness, but I'm dying to know what like the secret is to what you do.
Yes, so the secret is in the high intensity interval training, and that's predominantly my style of training. I have worked for organizations like F45 who use it, who actually are similar to Orange Fitness. I worked for Orange Fitness for a short period of time as well. And the secret is using HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training. Cuts that time down because your body jump starts your metabolism. So it allows the body to keep the muscles to keep being active anywhere from 12 to 36 hours, even post workout, just because it's a combination of endurance workouts, strength workouts, and it puts the body in a condition that it's not usually used to. And that carries over a specific period of time. So even with 3 to 4 workouts over a week, you will start to see results in about 2 weeks that would usually take 2 months with steady state or more traditional training methods. And that's why HIIT is becoming more popular, and you start seeing more and more workouts and more fitness professionals on Instagram using this same training style, because there have been papers that have been published about the results that have been gained from HIIT.
All right, so thank you very much for your presentation, Ugo. So now we'll just be moving on to our next presenter, Felicita Artistry. So she's going to be sharing her screen and making a presentation. And then afterwards, the judges will give feedback. So Felicita, you can go ahead. I think you're still muted just in case you're speaking.
Hi everyone, my name is Felicita, and I'm the founder and CEO of Felicita Artistry. I'm just trying to. Hi everyone, my name is Felicita, and I'm the founder and CEO of Felicita Artistry. I'm here today to convert everyone listening to me to become either a consumer or an investor or a supporter or just a big fan of Felicita Artistry, also known as FA. Felicita means happiness, and at Felicita Artistry, we believe that we are more than makeup, as we are the home to BIPOC beauty products. Have you ever purchased a product that you have no clue? Do you have excess products? You have products that you don't use, but you purchase them thinking you will use them. Now, do you wish that you were educated before you picked up those products properly on how to get the best value out of them? Also, as a person of color, have you ever walked into a room, or do you know someone who is a person of color that has walked into a room or to a retail store and has struggled finding products that work for them? Now, if you fall into any of these categories, here is our solution. Felicita Artistry is an online and physical retail store that retails brands that are owned by members of the BIPOC community. But also, we are here to give Canadians a new shopping experience. We're here to educate, we're here to enlighten, and we're here to provide variety in the Canadian beauty industry. We have our online, I showed our online and our physical, I showed our physical store, I showed our online platform. Our marketing strategy, we're grateful that we have received a lot of press since we launched in September of 2020. We've received press from CBC, Winnipeg Press, Futurepreneur, the Chambers of Commerce. Our marketing strategy stems from partnerships to word of mouth to online to social media marketing. We've partnered with MC College, a beauty school that is located within 4 provinces of Canada with 6 different campuses. What we do with this school our partnership with the school is to train to provide an advanced beauty course to train their artists on how to work on the person of color, as that's one of our biggest strengths. Also, we provide them with our products, the products that we sell, and we pretty much educate everybody that we come in contact with on how to use these products. We have been invited by RBC to be part of their employee benefit program, where RBC employees get 15% off our products. We understand that there's competition, but we don't believe in competition. We believe in supplementing what is already in the market. So in the eyes of a layman, they will say Ulta, Sephora, Walmart, Shoppers, Macy's, Hudson Bay, and many more retailers are our competition. However, we understand that it took the Black Lives Movement for these retailers to commit 15% of their shelves to Black-owned beauty brands. Well, 100% of our shelves is committed to retailing, distributing, educating, and pretty much increasing revenues for other BIPOC beauty entrepreneurs. Our financial projections, we launched in the middle of a pandemic. I was faced with the decision of either launching my business or keeping all the products that we had purchased in our warehouse. But anyway, we were resilient and we took the bold step by launching. In our first year, we made over 68,000, and we hope to increase our revenue every year times by 1.5%. Our team comprises of 3 people, a management consultant at EY, and a product designer at Lululemon, and myself, who is a practicing lawyer and the head artist. We're mentored by the famous Miss Tara Fela-Durotere, who has over 270 products in the market, 23 beauty schools, and 14 beauty studios, and was the first makeup artist to actually launch a beauty studio and makeup school in West Africa. We also have a mentor from Alberto from Futurepreneur. Our fund allocation is the launch of our in-house brand, which means we be resilient. We're constantly looking for partners, mentors, and funders. You can contact me at our contact information. Thank you from the team.
All right, thank you very much for the presentation, Felicita. That was a great presentation. So I'll pass it over to the judges now. Iris, you have your camera on, so I'll let you go first. And then,
okay. Yeah, sure thing. So incredibly enthusiastic performance, really, really impressed. I love the fact that you're challenging other brands out there in terms of bringing, what I believe is more grassroots and, like real people of the people kind of a brand to others. And I'm really looking forward to learning more about like where your bricks and mortar location is. And in terms of what your ask might be of investors at this time for growth, what that looks like, say for, the next tranche of your investments, because I'd love to see who we can push in your direction to look at what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
Sorry, Wendy, we sort of started at the same time. I have a question for you. I have a background in cosmetics, and I was curious about a couple of things. Are you focusing on products? Is it skincare or is it color? In other words, is it the skincare portion or is it the makeup portion that you're focusing on?
Okay, ma'am. We have a wide range of products. We have skincare to makeup products. The difference, we have been termed, people have called us the Black Sephora because the reverse happens here. The brands that we retail have an extensive range of colors for foundations, but they also produce other things like mascaras and lipsticks and lip glosses. And in fact, we've had a lot of Caucasians come through because there's one of our brands that has over 19 shades, from the lightest Caucasian to the darkest person. So we have an extensive range of products, and we just recently announced that we'll be opening our shelves to other BIPOC entrepreneurs. And the requirement is that it has to be 50% owned by BIPOC person, which is also aimed at encouraging partnerships between people who are not even BIPOC members and BIPOC beauty entrepreneurs.
Okay, so what is your business model in terms of revenue? Are you creating your own products, or are you gathering together from other companies and offering the products that are specific to Black skin?
So our revenue is broken down to 4 different categories. So we have the resale of other products. I guess I kind of glanced over it real quick. The fact that we have we're reselling. We also provide services, because I talked about the educational component. We train makeup artists. We have a virtual makeup course, but also we have a lot of people come through the door as they're trying to learn how to even apply their makeup, how to do something as simple as what I've done on my face today. So we have that training. We offer on-location and off-location services. So I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and people, if you're in the beauty industry, you kind of know that Winnipeg is the hotspot for movies. So we have been invited on set to work when there's a Black cast, or there's a group of Black cast. Our artists have been invited, and we offer those services, because then we are now creating work for the number of makeup artists who are leaving makeup school and either have to freelance or try and get into a retail store. That's our third portion of our source of income. And the fourth part is the fact that we charge vendors a little fee. We just started doing that because we do a lot of email marketing and social media ads, and those things are capital intensive. So we definitely want to make sure that we retain a good portion of our profits to be able to scale and grow and be attractive to potential investors. So those are the different, to answer your question, those are the breakdown in terms of how we generate our revenue.
Okay, thank you.
Just following up on that really good presentation, really interesting model. Can you share with us what the markup is? So if you're reselling someone else's product, what are you getting? If you're just retailing your kind of core work, what are you getting? Like, how do these pieces come together? I assume that your training is straight fee for service, but can you just share a little bit more about the cost breakdown and how where your revenue is coming from?
Okay, so in terms of our products, the way we had our CPA work on the spreadsheet for us. So we have we buy our products in some of our products are in Naira, in currencies that are a little bit with the Canadian dollar is stronger, and then we do a 50% markup. So our markup is 50% after we have taken into consideration our staffing, shipping and handling, staffing, operation costs. We've taken all that into consideration. And we have actually gotten into certain programs where we receive a lot of discounts for like our retail store. We don't pay as much as a lot of retailers, but I'm not allowed to say exactly what we pay. But we definitely make sure that our operating cost is really reduced so that our products are fairly competitive. But our markup is 50% once we have taken into consideration all our operating costs. And in terms of our services, what I do is something I learned from one of the classes I took when during my makeup journey as a freelance artist. So we do, I look at how much the artist is being paid per hour, how much the cost of the product, let's say the product that we're using, and then our markup. And it's been broken down the same way. It's how much my artist is being paid, the cost of products used, and 50% on top of that. And that's how we've come up with those how we came up with our pricing.
And just one quick other question. Have you considered like broadening your line to include hair products, hair extensions, stuff, wigs, stuff like that, which seems, you know, if you have kind of full service beauty, would seem to me those might be things that you could add into the mix.
The thing about FA is there's just so much potential. One of the things I actually forgot to speak about is where I'm sitting down. I'm actually sitting down in our multi-purpose creative studio. So to answer your question before I talk about this studio, is we actually offer hairstyling and we have hair products. So as I said earlier, we have opened our shelves now to accepting new vendors and looking at how we're going to position and help, because we know that there's a demand. But I did not, because I have the team of people that work with me are volunteers, I didn't want to overwhelm myself at first. We started with we started with 6 brands, and now we have 10 brands. And we've gotten a rhythm at the store now. We have stronger hands, so we are definitely now looking to now expand and scale, and we've learned from our mistakes. But what I wanted to highlight, part of our revenue is the fact that part of our studio, part of our retail store is a studio space. So we do a lot of creative work here. People can rent the studio, people can get their makeup and hair done and book photo shoots in here. And that was a pain point I saw for a lot of my clients when I had to go on location and we're looking for the studio and then we're looking for where to get the hair and makeup. And I'm sure a lot of people have gone through this kind of situation. So we rent out this space. I'm actually sitting down, and that is what is our signature. We plan to have every retail store is going to have a studio component to it, just the way Ulta has a hair salon in it, and Ulta is in the US.
I love that. And you did mention it in your presentation. You did a great job.
I had a question. So you mentioned that you do a lot, and I wanted to ask, what is the one piece that brings in the most revenue? Because you have retail, you have coaching, you have so many things going on, but I want to know what brings you the most revenue.
It depends. Because we launched in the pandemic, because we couldn't have services offered, we noticed that people were just buying, and we're doing virtual 30-minute free calls to generate those sales, because a lot of the brands that we carry are not very like mainstream. They are popular in African countries or in countries where they are from, but they're not popular here. So we had to do a lot of like video calls and free classes to like generate some of those sales. But when the lockdowns, the restrictions eased, we saw a spike in our services. So it's been a 50-50, to be honest. Like when I look at my financials, the services are, are almost as good as the retail, the sale of products. And that is because most times when I teach people, they turn around and buy the whole thing I just used on them. Or when I'm doing makeup, and that's our style of selling. We do your makeup, we show you how to use the product. And most times people just turn around and say, okay, you showed me how to use this product. I'm not just gonna go home. Now I'm gonna buy the product, or send me a cart and I will break down how I'm gonna buy this product. So we see it go hand in hand, to be honest.
Okay, thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. Julia, did you want to ask do you have any feedback?
I think it's a great presentation, and I think you did a good job in your presentation showing the support you've had from other organizations, which is an important thing to see.
All right, so thank you very much again, judges, and Felicita for your very good presentation. We have one more presenter today, and we'll just be moving on to our last presenter. So Sandrine Florent of Cocoma, you can take the stage, feel free to share your screen. Just a prompt, I'll give you a heads up when it's 1 minute left, after which the judges will have an opportunity for feedback. So you can go right ahead. I'll just remind everyone to put their cameras off. We can't hear you just in case you're speaking for Sandrine. I think your mic is muted.
Better now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for having me for this event today. So as you will notice, I'm Francophone, but I will present tonight in English. So my name is Sandrine Florent, Embassy Florent. I'm the founder and of Cocoma, a performance coach, a design creator of the Laser Notebook. So how Cocoma started? So it all started with a meeting with Alex Johnson, the VP of Strategic Affairs at CBC. She invited me over a coffee one day to discuss about inclusion and diversity issue. And at one point of time, she asked me one question, one simple question. It was, who inspires you the most within the company? And I was not able to answer that question. So in 2018, I decided to, then I questioned myself about that question, and I decided to take action around it and created Visible Women. So Visible Women was an employee resource group, which is now 150 members. It was to provide network, provide resources, highlight women from migrant background at CBC. In 2020, following the event, mainly the pandemic and George Floyd's events, people started to talk within the company. Meetings were organized around inclusion and diversity, and people started to express their real aspiration and their desire to do something that really mattered for them. This is where I saw some challenges. The first one was the discomfort with opening up at work. The fear that personal information, like their race, might reinforce a stereotypes that can undermine performance reviews and prevent progress toward a leadership role. Also, the lack of performance coaching for diverse community, because as you know, coaching mainly is associated with the sports field. And the last issue was the lack of secure listening space. So what Cocoma brings to the table today? So we want to bring back authenticity at work for employees and especially women by providing guidance on how to define limits and needs in their professional environment, and define as well with clarity the professional and personal ultimate and value and goals. The performance coaching also will give resources to individuals respecting their multicultural background and spirituality by providing quality service in terms of presence, techniques, and high active listening skills. Also, HR experience and inclusion diversity notions. But the main thing is the ability to share your dream in a safe space. So focusing on planification through journaling techniques, concentration on the process by creating your own ritual of success. So the market targeting is professional women who are career-oriented and who want to try new trending things that will help them with professional development goals. And also engaged women who want to, who are interested in well-being combined with achievement and who wants to learn more about it and also more about their own potentials. So as you can see, there is an increase of female population who are visible minority. So in 2001, it was 2 million, and it is expected to be 6.6 million in 2031. Direct competitors are, of course, all kinds of coaching style, and indirect competitors are candle industry and stationery stores and psychotherapists. Business model. So we are focusing on advertisement using Instagram, Facebook, Soon Pinterest, doing podcasts and referral system. Also online journaling workshop groups to provide coaching for clients all across the globe. Conferences and shows to have more in-depth experience. The finance. So the finance will start in 2022. We expect it to grow each year by $10,000 and to be at up to above to $30,000 in 2024. The team for now is myself and my husband, who is helping me with the product line. And we are looking for having a finance team as well. The roadmap. So in 2021 and 22, it's really to develop the partnership and get ambassador to increase our visibility. So this is what we are looking for right now, partnerships, and also to develop the coaching service. 2023, it will be to launch the coaching and mentoring network platform and also the journaling ritual workshop for clients. And in 2024, we expected to have partnerships with international institutions. Thank you very much for your attention tonight.
All right, thank you very much for the presentation, Sandrine. That was a great presentation. So judges, I will let you take it away.
I think I can start. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Nancy.
Okay. I just wanted to ask really quickly, how do you plan on scaling it up even like bigger? Do you have those plans in mind already, or are those things coming in the future?
So the plan is related to the roadmap. So we really want to have an ambassador to promote our company, the company, and to develop the service first, and then to create a network of platform network, and also to increase the workshops that we would like to share with clients.
Okay, thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love the idea, and I was wondering how you thought about growing it. It seems like it's predominantly a B2C business, but that you're thinking about growing to B2B, if I understand it correctly. So I wonder how you weigh those two options.
Yes.
Or those two platforms of growth.
Yes. So the first step would be to be one-on-one, so with client and workshops. But yes, I would like to introduce the concept to a company, since my experience with the big one. And I think it would be helpful to provide mentoring and coaching within companies itself to provide some help to diverse communities inside companies.
It struck me as, I mean, if you do a sales pitch that way, it's a one sale, but a bigger audience potentially.
Thank you.
I'll jump in. So I'd love to, welcome you to, a women's community that would really love to get behind what you're doing in terms of bringing intersectional representation in the world of business. And I'd also like to know if you would be open to speaking opportunities to talk about representativeness and the value of bringing diversity in as a way of creating a pipeline. And if so, what kind of topics you might like to talk about, so we could share, that opportunity to see if we can increase the number of clients coming your way.
Oh, yes. I think there are so many, but the one that comes to me in mind would be the racial boundaries. Multicultural context is very important in corporation. I think, in my opinion, it's sometimes very hard to people to take action around it. So I think for me, the focus is not really about, I just would like to help the employees first, I think, to help them to find their mark, to be focused on where they want to go, and how to develop themselves within the company and be more maybe strong about their thought and their aspirations.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I'm working with women entrepreneurs right now. And one of the big things that resonates with women entrepreneurs is, even though they seem incredibly bold at the first day of the program, by the second day of the program, they start developing trust. You start to hear about there's this incredible lack of confidence behind that really confident facade. And so I think one of the things that you're talking about is this that you use the word strong, that you could help bring that level of really true self-belief in people by modeling modeling it yourselves and also giving them, context that where they see themselves represented in who you are in the way that you're speaking and really identifying with the help that you're giving them. So congratulations on what you're helping out with.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's really deeper than just providing, resources. It's really deeper. I really truly believe that.
I found you speak very well, and you keep your information in very short sound bites, so it's very easy to follow you. And I find that very, very good. It's also amazing what you're attempting to do because it's so needed. And I'm just curious as to how you're going to marry that one-on-one with some sort of online presence where you can do some sort of subscription. I don't know how would it actually work. I have my own ideas about it, but that's one way to expand your reach and expand your business, is to offer something online that's a subscription-based business. Have you given it any thought in that process?
Yeah, I did, but it's not developed yet because the company it's just a couple months ago. So it's really very new, but I've been thinking about all of this since a year. So I think I'm getting there, but I want to do it step by step. But of course, an online program or online class would be something that I would, like to do, of course. But yeah, one step at a time.
It might work better in a business to business,
yeah,
than in a business to consumer. And I think there's an opportunity there because diversity is becoming so much to the forefront discussions that I think that's where your opportunity would be, where you can speak from experience and your knowledge base. And I was so happy to see you qualify yourself at the very beginning. That resonates with people because now we know we're listening to an expert. And I think that's really important. And I think going into the business to business, you've got the educational background that's so key to building a successful business. And I think you have a great opportunity of being very successful. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon.
Thanks, Cheryl. Wendy, do you have any feedback for Sandrine?
I think my questions were mostly answered. I feel like a broken record, but can you just share the pricing, like how your services are priced and how you expect to hit your targets?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to take my note. So the little diagram that I showed you was calculated because I'm trying to be realistic here. I'm still at school as well, so I'm trying to be realistic. I'm expecting to have at least 2 clients by month, which would be around 155 the consultation. And I would like to offer packages. Packages will include the materials, the candle and the notebook, which is this, in fact. I have a larger one, but I'm providing this one. And you have different inserts inside for different goals, different activities. So you choose the one that you need. And in these packages, I expect to have one package, if I'm right, of 5 sessions, sorry. So that's why it was around 10,000 the first year. But I would like to increase by adding workshops in 2023. So we've workshopped and still having more packages and individual clients as well, and so on until 2024. And of course, then be more international if possible after that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much for your presentation, Sandrine. Thank you very much again for your feedback, judges. So, wow, as in we've gotten to the end of all the presentations. So thank you guys for all your patience. Wendy, do you have, I see your hands raised, or is that, okay, my mistake. But thank you again, judges. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ida, Cheryl, Wendy, Dr. Nancy Adosi, Julia McLeod. Thank you very much for your feedback today. And also thank you very much to the presenters, to all the entrepreneurs who presented and participated in Casa Foundation's events today. Thank you very much for your time. So each of your contributions have added to the rich and fulfilling session we've had today, where we're exploring the ideas of young entrepreneurs as they make their way in the Canadian business landscape. So up next, the judges will be going into a separate room to evaluate the performances of each of our presenters. But in the meantime, we'll begin our second program of today, which is the Fireside Chat. Before I do, I'll just kind of run through all the names of the presenters one more time, just to give everyone a sense. I have a list right here, just to remind everyone of the presentations. So again, first off, we had Chun Yu of Visiontif in the tech industry. Secondly, we had Leighton Robinson of Lennibor Academy in the education sector. Thirdly, we had Jean of Yuco AI in the health and wellness, e-commerce, artificial intelligence sector. After Jean, we had Bob of Totally African Shop in the e-commerce sector. After Bob, we had Ugo from Jock Movements in the health and wellness and fitness sector. After Ugo, we had Felicita of Felicita Artistry in the beauty and retail sector. After Felicita, we had Sandrine of Cocoma, who just presented on coaching and personal development. So again, thank you very much for all your presentations and for your engagement and the feedback that were provided to each of the presenters. We look forward to getting back the results of your evaluation, and I'm sure the presenters are hoping you saw the value in their businesses and in their pitches as well. So for the judges, just to give you a heads up, we've provided each of you the links to the breakout room. If you just check the chat. In the meantime, once you're back in the room, we'll be able to see it on our end. And once the fireside chat is done, we'll just ask the judges for their list of the top 5 presenters who would then be invited for the ceremony tomorrow, where we'll be announcing the top 3 presenters. So again, thank you very much for your participation, judges. And now we would invite Efosa to the stage to introduce the fireside chat. And just to give a brief introduction before I pass it over. So now that the judges are heading to deliberate and evaluate the presentations, we're going to start this fireside chat, which will be moderated by the program lead for entrepreneurship at U of T, Efosa Obano. And our panelists today are Vernette Eugene, a director at the Bank of Nova Scotia, and Patricia Bebia Mawa, a vice president at Afro Global TV. So thank you guys very much for joining us today. And Efosa, I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Dino. Just let me know if you can hear my audio, okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Awesome. Yes, so thank you again and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Efosa Obano. I'm the program manager for the University of Toronto's Black Founders Network, and very happy to be here with everyone today. I think I'm going to let my co-panelists introduce themselves, I guess, more broadly before we dive into the questions. So we'll start with you, Vernette, if you can give a quick intro as well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Efosa. And hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. My name is Vernette Eugene. I'm a director of change management supporting the Global Human Resources team for Scotiabank. And so working with all of our partners across all of Scotiabank's footprint and supporting over 97,000 employees. I am also the former co-chair of the Black Employee Network at Scotiabank. And being in the presence of these entrepreneurs, I am a somewhat budding entrepreneur, so it was great to listen in on all of these pitches today. So thank you for the opportunity. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much for that great intro. And over to you, Patricia.
Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to be part of this panel, and I'd like to congratulate all the entrepreneurs that presented earlier as well. It was really wonderful to listen in. As an entrepreneur myself, I'm always excited to see, new ideas and innovation. But a little bit about myself, I am in the media, so I'm Vice President at Afro Global Television and Silver Trust Media. I'm also a producer, filmmaker, and writer as well, and a mother of 4.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that intro as well. And I think it's like going to be a good conversation. I think we have about 20-ish minutes to 25 minutes. So I'm going to try to make it as interactive and just informal as possible. For everyone watching, the theme of the panel is empowering Black founders. So we're trying to figure out how do we do this practically, and we're going to, I guess, get experiences and perspectives from both of you. So I think we'll start with the first question here. How does diversifying the leadership cadre in organizations become an actual business advantage in the growth and expansion of organizations and businesses? So in answering this question, I would probably ask that you also try to think about it from your perspective. So Scotiabank for Vernet, and Afro Global for Patricia. And we'll start with Vernet. So how would you answer that question?
So I do have to say also, so I'm speaking from the corporate standpoint, but I'm hoping that our everyone listening in, our entrepreneurs and those in business, can take some lessons from that setting. And I'm also speaking from a very personal experience standpoint. And so when we talk about diversity, that's something that's absolutely very close to my heart. And you talked about diversifying the leadership group in an organization. How does that advance and grow an organization? I think that's a critical factor in the long-term success of any organization. When I hear about our pitches today and our entrepreneurs looking to expand into new markets and new environments, it's really critical that you're flexible and responsive, because our customers and our markets are becoming increasingly more diverse. And we no longer just need capabilities to be culturally competent, but we need to be culturally confident as well in many different areas. So having different perspectives, that breeds greater creativity and innovation. And we see that in the bank all the time, where if you're more creative, you're more innovative, you can solve problems faster for your customers. And trust me, if you're solving a problem, we talked about all the problems that are being solved through the services and products today. If you're solving a problem, you're definitely creating value, and people will pay for that. So, and paying for that really translates into greater profits for your company. And so diversity has a very clear link to the bottom line. And statistics have shown it. It's a proven formula that the more diverse you are in your leadership and in your teams in general, the more successful you are. And so it's important to have diversity of thought, it's diversity of experiences, of ethnicity, orientation, different abilities. And that gives you more power, the more you can speak to that, the various dimensions of diversity and have that represented in your organization.
Very well said. And I think to just supplement that as well, the statistics do show this. So there was a Harvard Business Review research that was done that said companies that had higher than average diversity metrics had 20% higher innovation revenues. There's another one that says that companies that have more diverse leadership are 45% more likely to return a profit than others. So there's tons of metrics that show, and you would think something so simple, would be very obvious to corporations, but this research has to happen for it to become top of mind, unfortunately. Let's hear as well from your perspective, Patricia.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vanette, for those great points. You've said a lot of the things that I had in mind, great points there. But, I just want to add that in today's world, the depth of an organization's capability is deepened, in terms of how diverse the leadership team and employees are. So the more diverse your employees, the deeper your capability in terms of innovation and your ability to to bring something unique to the table, which will give you a competitive edge, over your competitors at the end of the day. And also, we have seen that cities that have a more diverse, cultural workforce tend to have more innovation. If you think of cities like New York, Dubai, London, and Singapore, well, I'll say to an extent, Toronto, which is one of the most diverse cities in the world, you see the centers become, like an amalgamation of not just people from different, ethnic groups and experiences, but the diversity leads to escalation in, creative ideas, and ultimately, like Vanette said, better economic performance and sort of financial gains for the companies, So diversity in today's world is a no-brainer, and any company that, want to remain homogeneous is just kind of losing out, because I believe that we each, bring something unique to the table. When we, join a company or leadership cadre in an organization, we're not just coming there with technical skills or, job-related skills, but we're coming with our experiences, with our backgrounds, our history, and everything that, makes us who we are. And when we sit on those tables, we're definitely going to bring, part of all this to the table for the benefit of the organization at the end of the day.
Very well said. Very well said. And I think the perspective that, when you think about it from the perspective of even cities, because I think that's something you mentioned at the beginning of your remark, it's interesting to see, like, for instance, I live in Toronto, and it's interesting to see what happens when the city is more diverse, even in the companies that are built and the ecosystem, compared to other companies as well. So I think taking that perspective also provides like a different context to the conversation. I wanted to get a bit more personal, still on the same point. Maybe thinking back to your experience in leading Afro Global and even probably previous organizations, would you be able to speak about it from a less corporate perspective, but more of a, I guess, startup / company building perspective? So when I say that, I mean, were they decisions that you took, or even things that you saw as you were building the company and recruiting your team that have had an effect to the performance of your company when you think about it from a diversity perspective, if there's any examples that come to mind?
Our team is very diverse. Just, to start, we have, people from the Caribbean, who were born in Africa. We have South Asians in our team, and Caucasians, Italians, and people from all over. And I think that what's interesting is that we recently, just a few weeks ago in August, we shot a drama series. It's our first drama series, and we hoping to have it on major, platforms around the world. But the interesting thing is that in this drama series, the main, theme is about a Nigerian and Italian couple who own a restaurant, a fusion restaurant in Toronto. So you can imagine how the fact that we have an Italian in our team has made us to think outside the box. Instead of us coming up with an idea that just focused on the Black community, we're kind of thinking of something like almost like a melting pot of, culture. And this is because, when we sit down to discuss ideas, we have somebody from another culture who can say, oh, how about, if this happens and that happens, and at the end of the day, you have something that is not just, focused on one thing. We're able to bring in spices from all over the world. And I think that's just one very interesting idea. The fact that our team members can come up with an idea that is diverse, that reflects not just the diversity of the city that we're in, but ultimately the diversity of our team itself. So that's one very good example. And even when I notice also that when we sit down in meetings to discuss, most times you see that the women in the room are the ones who always say, oh, we have an award show, for instance, and you see the women in the room will be like, oh, we have too many men receiving these awards this year. Can we, make sure that women are more included. And based on that, we're kind of making a bigger effort to make sure that when we do this award shows, women are properly represented. But imagine if, in a leadership cadre in a company, we do not have representation from certain groups. I mean, it doesn't mean that the people from a certain group or certain experience are the ones that always have to think of representation for their groups. It doesn't mean that, because I believe that it's incumbent on all of us to really think about other people when we make decisions, even if they're not part of our group, to make sure that we're kind of, having diversity at the back of our minds when we're making decisions. But when there is representation on the table, it definitely makes a difference in terms of people's voices, being heard, people being seen, and people being reflected. Someone once said that you have to raise your hands to be counted. But what if you're not even there to raise your hand? You will not be counted, you'll not be remembered, you'll be forgotten. But I just want to drop it that it's really incumbent on all leaders to be thinking about everyone when they're making decisions. But it's always good to have representation on the table.
100%. Very well said. Very well said. And great example with the Italian, like it's kind of the reverse for that in terms of being inclusive when you think about it. So I'll throw it back to Vernette as well to speak on this from a personal level. So I was stalking you on LinkedIn when you were giving your intro, and I see that you at Scotia, you actually have been there for almost 10 years, different positions, getting through the ranks. So I think I would like to hear it from your perspective in terms of even as you were navigating those promotions, navigating those, I guess, level climbs, did you see or did you find that diversity or the perceived diversity of leadership, or even as a woman in leadership as well, did you find that there were any obstacles that you faced personally that, kind of shaped your perspective and even give you like a unique view to this conversation?
Mm-hmm. That's a really, really good question. And I have so many stories that we don't have enough time to speak to, but I will tell you one of the first things, because I am born and raised in St. Lucia in the Caribbean, a very homogeneous society in the sense of growing up as a child into early past teenhood. And so moving to this country and starting in my organization, it was a bit of a shock because I then noticed that I was, I think my Blackness, the color of my skin was much more prominent, much more of an item of thought that it had never occurred to me before. And so, yes, being in the room, being the only Black woman in the room of over 200 on teams consistently throughout my career has led to lots of challenges. A lot of them have been internal. I think I had a sense of really trying to find my voice, really looking at my differentness as an advantage, not a disability. And so it took some time, as it does in any early career, anyone's early career. You're young, you're new, and you're an immigrant, you're in a new country. It does take some time to find that voice and that confidence. One of the places where I think, and I know we're going to talk about this later, was about finding mentors. It wasn't very evident that there are other people who look like me. And I immediately equated somebody who looked like me to be somebody who can mentor me. And that was probably one of, it's not that it's a misconception, it's just a natural inclination as human beings that we gravitate to our tribes, right? We gravitate to people who look like us. So challenge early on was not having that sort of mentorship or not having that leadership presence. We talk about the diversity of leadership. I think the bank has, and you mentioned me being here 10 years, I have seen lots of improvements over the last while in the sense of having much more representation and diversity at our leadership table. So challenges were very, they're plentiful, they were difficult. And one of the ways I wanted to address that was through the Black Employee Network. which I only started about 3 years ago. So 7 years or so into my journey at the bank, I decided, you know what, I feel confident enough to now create a space for other Black people, and to champion and advocate for leadership representation. And the timing was good. I mean, 2 years or year and a half in, the Black Lives Matter movement started. And so we were positioned at that time where we had started the work, and it was just a matter of accelerating it and taking it to the next level, because now people were paying attention. So a lot I could say to that, Fosa, but I think what the primary takeaway was for me was really finding that confidence in myself. I know there are literal systemic barriers, but it has to start with you really looking at your worth, really looking at what you bring to the table, and finding that voice and that confidence in yourself. And it happened a few different ways. I can't tell you till this moment, I'm not the most confident in the room every time. But there are things that I've learned along the way to help build that. And that has helped me in my progression at the bank. It's helped me in like my self-awareness, self-actualization, and really looking at what can I do well, and where are the areas that I don't thrive in, but how can I close that gap? And so a lot of self-reflection, a lot of looking at what was I socialized to believe growing up when it related to other people of other ethnicities. I had to change some of that thinking. How did I perceive myself? And I mentioned it before, seeing myself as disadvantaged because I was the only Black person in the room. I had to really change that narrative in my head and say, no, if anything, you have so much to bring to the table, and you're at the table, or you're going to make space and pull up a seat if nobody offers it to you. And then you're here to shine, and you have abilities and thoughts and perspectives that no one at this table has, because they're all thinking the same from very similar backgrounds. So being able to build that confidence for me was a very important start. And I recognize it's not just confidence. There's so many other factors. But I say start with what you control, and that's with yourself.
Very well said. Very well said. And thank you for getting that personal and sharing with us as well. I feel like we need to hear more of these from people that we feel like have it all figured out at the top. Something I will say as well, just to wrap up this piece of the conversation, another statistic, so organizations that have above average gender diversity level, so this is the average bar compared to the other companies in the Fortune 5, tend to outperform companies by 46%. So this is another stat as well when you talk about the gender diversity perspective. Part of what I do outside managing the U of T Black Founders Fund and Network is also, I have an organization called the African Impact Initiative, which invests in first-time African founders. And part of what we try to do as well is encourage that gender diversity, because I think in entrepreneurship, it's also probably even worse than it is in the corporate space in terms of, female like people believing in themselves to be entrepreneurs, because it's a very male-dominated space. So I think it's a conversation that we need to keep having, as uncomfortable as it gets. But I think it's a good segue into the next part of the conversation around mentorship and sponsorship. And you had mentioned this, Vernette, so I'm probably going to start with you in terms of elaborating a bit more. The question for this piece is, what role does mentorship and sponsorship play in career development and advancement?
It has been a huge factor for me in my advancement. And it's not to say that I had many, many mentors. It was the quality of the mentorship, to be very honest. And so I like to equate sort of that journey with mentorship to a hike, where you're on your way up and you're meeting people who've already reached the summit. They've had their Instagram moments at the top, and they're on the way down. And you're asking about, what's ahead. And so mentorship really is about that advice, sharing your experience, sharing where you've been and all the lessons that you've learned. And I've always found people are ready to and very open to speak to that. Very early on in my career, I did a lot of networking, attended a lot of events, and would constantly be in the company of people that inspired me. And I made it a note to connect with those people and to follow up with them. And so in my organization, outside of my organization, in different areas, mentors have played a really big role because they've just been willing to share. And I think there's also lots of, in terms of tips and advice and to make this successful, make that mentorship relationship successful. But I think first of all, standing out and knowing what you want out of that encounter. It could start with a very open question about, wanting to learn more about their area. A lot of times mentors come about because of connections through others, and they can be formal or informal. So that person coming down the hill and you're going on your way up may stop and talk to you for a few seconds, but they've shared something really powerful with you that you're going to take. And then the next person may spend more time, or maybe you're walking with a guide who's done it like all very, very often. And so there are different sort of mentors at different stages that come in for different seasons in your life. And so I have tried to take advantage of learning. I take the lazy route. I would tell you, I don't want to go through the work if you already did it. So Patricia, if there's something you already achieved and you're like, Vernette, it was hard. I want to know, okay, what's the fast route to this, Patricia? Because I don't necessarily want to learn it the hard way. And I mean, there are lessons. Life is all about the challenges and learning from it. But I always look at mentors as just a wealth of knowledge and insight and things that I could, and you're getting it for free. This is free knowledge. And so I really do appreciate the power of mentors. And then you mentioned sponsors as well, Felicita. So I want to quickly talk to that because I don't see that as the same thing. Mentors, again, are the ones who will share advice. Sponsors it's a level up where they're willing to advocate and speak on your behalf, and they're willing to put their reputation or leverage their clout or their influence or their power to help you in some way. And so those are few and far between sometimes, especially for women. Those are very hard to come about in the corporate world. And it's because those take relationships of trust that need to be developed and nurtured over time. And so I know some companies who are very intentional about building that, but again, as women in this space, typically you're not building very close relationships with your male peers or your male leaders, and there's a lot when it comes to relationships. You need to be able to connect on multiple levels, and so the power of having diverse leadership is that you're able to really manage the sponsorship gap in your organization, because you have leaders who can identify with their teams, who can identify with people in their organization, and in a better way build those lasting relationships of trust that are needed for sponsorship. So a long way to answer your question, but the role that it's played is critical, because it really does bring a level of advancement in your career that you wouldn't be able to do on your own. We need to learn from others.
Definitely. Very well said. Very well said. I think sets the tone as well for Patricia to speak on this from her perspective. And Patricia, probably also the last question in the conversation, because I think Vernette kind of spoke to this in her previous answer in terms of how she overcame the challenges and just the role that mentorship, sponsorship played for her. In addition to answering the role that it's played for you, could you also speak a bit more about how it's helped you overcome challenges in your journey as we wrap up the panel?
Yeah. First of all, I'd just like to say that, mentorship is, truly transformational and can lead to career success. We actually run a mentorship program called the Crossover Mentorship, and we've seen how young people that came in very shy, unable to express themselves, how at the end of the day they're able to, stand up for themselves, to speak, and to do things that they never thought they could do. I personally, I have had a few mentors. Some of them are not directly mentors in my field, but I think that a mentor can help you develop soft skills that will help you in your career. For instance, how to communicate, and even things like having a proper vision for your future. And so those are things that I have been privileged to have. Now, I must say that sometimes members of the diverse community, especially minorities, Black people especially, it's hard for us to find mentors. And that's because, like Vanette said, being the only one in the room, sometimes it's hard to find people that you think will be able to relate to what you're going through, to be able to give you the advice that you need to succeed at what you're going through at the moment. But there's a saying by Roy H. Williams that I really love. He says that a smart man makes mistakes, learns from it, and moves on. But a wise man finds a smart man, learns from him, and avoids the mistake altogether. I think, whatever happens, even if we don't have people that look like us, we have to make the effort to find people that, that have been there and done that we can speak to. For instance, when we launched a 24-hour TV channel, I didn't know anyone that had launched a channel before in our community that I could talk to. And, my husband and I, we kind of, it was very difficult because we did not have mentors. We eventually, tried to call up somebody who was not in the community to say, can you mentor us? We don't really know so many things about this, even though we've been in the media for so many years. And a Caucasian guy, from Rogers actually said, you know what, you have an angel here and I'll help you. And he, told us things that really helped us to get ahead in, launching the channel and doing a few things that helped us to even increase our cash flow. And sometimes all you need is feedback, someone to let you know that you're doing the right thing, or this is the best way to go. Someone that kind of can help you with your blind spot, to see things that you're not seeing, to kind of broaden your perspective. I know Vanette spoke about, mindset earlier on. Sometimes we come into a corporate setting with a certain mindset. And I must say that, university education, college education does not prepare you for the real world. So sometimes when people are thrust into a new job or a new opportunity, it's hard for them to navigate all the challenges without someone who has gone through the same thing, saying to them, this is how, or this is not how. So mentorship is very important. And talking about sponsorship is somebody who is willing to be a stakeholder in your destiny. So somebody who's willing to not just put in the time, but put in resources or whatever it takes to see that you succeed. That's something that, is very important. And I would say, do not be afraid to ask for help. If you need help, look around and see who you can talk to. And sometimes you may not be able to find someone physically present. Like a lot of my mentors, I have never met them. I just find them online. I follow them, I study them, I read about them, and I try to understand how they actually did things. And I just try to, model my life, to what they did. And so it has been very successful. It's very useful for me in many ways. So that's what I would say to people out there. If you cannot find a physical mentor, is there someone out there you can follow, you can read about, and you can study and apply some of the principles, the best practices that have helped them to succeed in your own life?
Very, very well said. I think there's a theme here around learning from others, and also a theme here around just the difference between mentorship and sponsorship and how they're not the same. In wrapping up the conversation, I'd like to thank you both for all the insights. What we do at the University of Toronto Black Founders Network, we invest in Black entrepreneurs across all stages. And I feel like both your experiences, I'll be tapping you both after on a one-on-one level to engage you even there as mentors as well, to some of the Black entrepreneurs that are coming through our programs in your verticals, because I think there's a lot of wisdom that you both imparted today. And I also like to thank the the sponsors of the event, for having all of us be part of it. It's been a great conversation so far. I'm going to be turning it back over to Dino to continue. I feel like the judges should be wrapping up now for the pitches. So Dino, over to you.
Fosa, thank you very much. And thank you as well to Patricia and Burnett for your insightful contributions. If the judges are still deliberating, I want to actually put a question to Fosa. I'm going to actually toss you into this bucket as well. But Burnett, I mean, you guys are both, you guys are all, I guess, pretty successful, and you're essentially people that people within our community will be looking up to. So I have a question for you, just very simple, very basic. For all the presenters today who are at the beginning of their entrepreneurial journeys, and also for the viewers who are watching on all our different platforms, what is one piece of key advice you'll give them? So outside of everything we've discussed today, just like on a one-on-one level, what would you say your advice is for people that are trying to be successful in whatever field they would like to choose? And I will start with you, Patricia, then I'll go to Burnett, and then I'll pass it to you, Fosa.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Gino. For me, we've been doing our business full time since 2002, and we haven't worked anywhere else. We started with a TV show, then, 3 magazines. Now we have a 24-hour TV channel. We're now into film production. I think what has kept us, in spite of all the challenges that we've faced over the years, is the fact that we kind of had a very strong vision for the future. So I would say to anyone out there, have a strong vision for your future, for the future of your company or your endeavor, and also know your why. Why are you doing it? Whenever things are tough, I remind myself of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that fuels my passion and gives me the energy and the tenacity, resilience, and everything that I need to continue to do it. And that's why I kind of have always said giving up is not an option, because the reason why, we're doing what we're doing is so strong, and we always have it in front of us. And that's what has kept us going. So know your why, and that will actually fuel your passion to continue and, to be around for a long time and to achieve unimaginable success.
Know your why, and that'll drive your how, I guess. That's how I'll put it. So thank you for that contribution, Patricia. So Burnett, I'll pass it on to you to see what advice you have for the viewers today.
Yeah, thanks, Dino. I would say lean on your network. If there was one thing, and just to continue the whole theme of, or the theme that we had going through this discussion about leveraging mentors and asking for help, I would say lean on your network. One thing I could tell myself starting off in my career, reminding myself that I'm not the first to face this. I'm not the first to go through this and have this challenge. Ask for help, ask for more time, ask for what you need. I mean, the fact that the entrepreneurs are here today leading into this process is great, and that's very commendable. And I would encourage anyone early on in their career, in their entrepreneurial drive, or entrepreneurial journey, to ask for help, to lean into or lean on those around you, that have gone before you. Patricia made a great point. I have lots of virtual mentors. They never met me, I never met them, but I call them a mentor because I follow their lives and everything that they inspire me to do. And so there's a wealth of information out there, but asking, I did not do that as well. So I would encourage you to ask for help, ask for more, ask for time, ask for the resources that you need.
All right, thank you, Burnett. So just to reiterate, lean on your networks and ask for help. Pride, just throw away your pride and ask for help. So thank you for the information, Burnett, and for the advice. So Fosa, I'll let you go last, and then we have the judges in the room. I will be letting the judges take over to announce our top 5 presenters today. So Fosa, you can go right ahead.
Thank you, Dino, and very well said by everyone. I think I'll wear my entrepreneurial hat to answer this. I guess trying to relate it to the pitch and the people pitching. And I guess plugging in a bit of what we're doing at the Black Founders Network at U of T. So in building the Black Founders Network, we actually spoke to more than 100 Black founders to get insights and consultations in helping us build this. What we found in terms of the biggest gaps that they were facing, capital was obviously obvious, but like it wasn't actually the strongest. The strongest was community. So I think it kind of piggybacks off what was said before in terms of that community, both kind of sideways and up down in terms of mentorship and peer-to-peer, very important. And then obviously capital, guidance, capacity building, all that good stuff. We have our launch event coming up next week. So after my spiel, I will drop the link in the chat. But I would say, like, from an entrepreneur's perspective, you want to fall in love with the problem that you're solving and your customer. You want to surround yourself with a very solid team, and you want to tackle like the problem in a big way. Like, the bigger the problem and the bigger the scale of how you want to tackle the problem, the bigger money will be in your bank accounts, but also the bigger impact that you're going to make. So that'll be my summary of it. And yeah, just looking forward to hearing the feedback from the judges as well on the pitch.
All right, so thank you very much for your contribution, Afosa. So that kind of tied everything in nicely. So if I can just take it back a step, and I'll wrap up tying Patricia and Vernette's contributions as well. So Patricia mentioned know your why. So know your why kind of ties into what Afosa said, like fall in love with what you're doing, like find your why, and that will kind of drive you. And that would essentially, or falling in now to what Vernette said about leaning on your network, asking for help. And if you tie that into what Afosa said about, the value of building community, and then all the benefits that come from that. So for example, like when you have a bigger community, you have a bigger pool of people to reach out to for support, and you also have a bigger pool to source resources. So thank you very much for your contributions, all three of you. Afosa, Patricia, and Vernette. It was a very good session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you,
all
Dina.
right. You're welcome, Afosa. All right, so moving forward, we'll pass it over to, we have three judges in the room. So we have Cheryl, Idas, and Wendy. Just to reiterate the process, so they will be announcing our top 5 presenters today, who would then have the opportunity to join us at tomorrow's Day 2 FOA event, where we will be announcing the top 3 presenters from the pitch presentations today. So judges, I'll let you take it away from here.
Did you want me to go through the list? Okay. And I apologize if I get any of the names wrong, but I will also say we took a long time. There was some agreement, but there was some real disagreement, and it was a really hard decision to get down to 5. I think it's fair to say that even those who are not on the top 5 list can count on support from individual judges who are really interested in helping you to develop your business. So regardless of where you are in the ranking, sometimes the issues are you're a bit early in your process. Sometimes the issues are that maybe your pitch did not communicate everything that you could, and it may just be you need some coaching. It may be that you lacked precision in terms of your business model or your sales projections, and someone can work with you on that. So I would really just underscore that we saw merit in all of the pitches. And for those of you who've been coming to Friends of Africa for a few years, I'm sure you have seen, and I think the broader group will see, tremendous improvement in the caliber of the business plans and the pitches since the first time this was tried a few years ago. So I really wanted to say quite genuinely that all of the pitches had merit, and it was a tough decision. The list, however, of the top 5, which is what we were asked to provide today, includes Bob from Totally African, Felicita from Felicita Artistry, Yuco and Toya from MVMT, Jean from Yuco AI, and Chung from Visiontif. And so congratulations again to everybody for doing a great job. Some of the pitches were incredibly polished and professional, and all of you have the potential to be great entrepreneurs. So we really appreciate you participating. I don't know, Cheryl or Idis, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I think that you spoke from the heart for me too, is that recognizing that there is merit in every single presentation, and it takes such tremendous courage to get up there and do this. And we're grateful to you for sharing with us your passion for things, because it's not easy to be up on stage to do that. And we're here for you. We look forward to connecting through other LinkedIn or our other networks and seeing how that we can continue to support this amazing initiative for all you individuals who came out.
I agree with you. The ability to speak about your business that you love is always very difficult, and choosing what you're going to say from all the knowledge you have behind you is also very difficult. So I congratulate all of you for your ability to, and especially in this venue where you don't see any faces and don't see the feedback of the face, it's very difficult because you're speaking to a camera, and that's an added level of stress. And I congratulate you for taking the risk on yourself, because that's what you've done today. And each one of you has won just by presenting. You are winners. Thank you ever so much for all the courage it took to do what you did today.
Thank you very much for the great feedback, Cheryl, Idis, and Wendy, as well as for your participation and time today. I'll also like to extend our thanks to the other judges who aren't here. So Nancy Adosi, who had to step away. And then also we have Julia McLeod, who was attending the pitch today as an observer. All the feedback was great. So for now, I'd like to congratulate our top 5 presenters. I'm just going to read from a list. It would be Chun Yu of Visiontif, Jean of Yuco AI Incorporated, Bob of Totally African Shop, Ugo and Latoya of Jock Movements, and Felicita of Felicita Artistry. So thank you guys very much for presenting. Congratulations. Best of luck tomorrow. Also, we'll just like to say a quick thanks as well to Leighton Robinson of Lennibor Academy. We'll also like to say a thanks to Sandrine Mbase-Florent of Cocoma. All the presentations today were great. And thank you guys for showing up and doing a very good job. So as mentioned earlier, just to reiterate, we'll be announcing the top 3 presenters of the Pitchmasters session at day 2 of Friends of Africa, which is a conference being held tomorrow in a hybrid format, so in person at the Delta Marriott Hotel, and also virtually. You can stream it on Casa Foundation's YouTube page, and for those participating, you will be getting links to participate in the Zoom call. So thank you again to all the presenters. So for those who didn't make the top 5, do not be discouraged. I hope the feedback provided is useful in providing knowledge that can be applied to growth for your company. You are invited to attend tomorrow and at least go through the sessions. And to our top 5 presenters, congratulations again and good luck tomorrow. We'll be seeing you there, and we'll be sending you all the streaming links information so that you can join us as well. So again, thank you to the judges. Before we close our session for today, we'll just like to thank some of the FOA 2021 and Pitchmaster sponsors. So first, the Women's Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub. Thank you very much for your support. RBC, in VCAP, Entrepreneurs Point, the Government of Canada, and the Black Entrepreneurship Programs, the Black Advisory Hub as well. And also thank you to Cheryl and Bedard Associates for your contributions. So just to give an announcement of what to expect tomorrow, the prizes to the top 3 presenters would be announced at about 12:30 p.m. according to our schedule. And they will be announced by representatives of some of our sponsors. So the first 2 prizes would be announced and handed over by Wendy, Professor Wendy Sukir, who was one of our judges today. And the third prize would be handed over by Afosa, who led our fireside chat session. And just to go over what the prizes will be, so first place will be getting $4,000. Second place will be getting $2,500. And third place will be getting $1,000. So thank you very much again. And just doing some back end, I would like to thank all the FOA staff and volunteers and sponsors for contributions to making today a success. Again, I would like to kindly thank judges and panelists for your time adding to this enriching session. And most importantly, I'd like to thank presenters for your interesting business and insightful presentations, I wish you all the best in your entrepreneurship journey. You all made today the success that it was. Please stick around if you can, just to network, but feel free to leave the room if you have other commitments. Again, thank you to all the contributors. This was a successful event, and thank you. I'll leave it open to the floor now.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah.